insanely high standards, Joe. But that's not Mrs. Morgan. I think that I went to, though. That is what it is, Jay. You're 6'4" and you run a business. Yes, you're strong. You have new tooth money. You're the real deal, Gerald. I don't know why she did it. I don't know what the cutoff, 6'3" and a half. You're the real deal. Yeah, she's 6'4", but she was holding up to 6'3" or higher and has to at least be CEO. Yeah. She found the one she wanted. Yeah, that's perfect. But this lady, I guarantee there's at least one guy that she knows personally. Yeah. Watching that video.
Hey, Jared. Yeah, we figured it out.
Average height, average build, relatively successful.
Pretty kooky, huh?
Has some stability in his life, but it's not interesting. Yeah. There's no reason for you to be, unless you really.
Well, I can't get Rumble to work right with Streamlabs though.
It's not like that is the situation. I also have a really big problem. So I actually maybe what happened is she lived the life that everybody told her, like, go out, be single, do your thing, don't worry about it. And then got around to like, oh my gosh, I'm 27, 28, 29. I better start
Hey, Jared.
about this. If I were to have kids, or some marriage, and my friends are getting married. Oh my gosh, I'm freaked out. And then we already had high standards. I think if that's the case too, I think that's also a problem. But she said, how much harder do I have to pray? How much more do I need to manifest? I'm like, whoa.
Double blink.
You just said some stuff that is not biblical. You're not supposed to manifest a husband. This isn't something where you have Billy the magician go, and go, husband, and he just
Pittsburgh County, is that California?
First, second, or third of any of it. She basically said to it how hard it's not about praying hard. God has a plan for your life, and there's a permissive will. There's a lot of different ways that can go, and it's not you sitting there going, God, I'm not only good enough, can you please send somebody? But this is pop culture Christianity at its worst. It convinces single men and women that if you're only doing this, if you only do that, if you only pray hard, if you only go to this conference and give that money and serve in that country, God will bring your mate. Stop buying that lie. Those things can be true, right? Or you can find your mate in those situations, but don't buy the prosperity gospel BS that tells
need to fix that.
You just have to manifest. What's even worse than that?
There's only people that I follow can show.
Yes, that's the thing. It's you are perfect, you are enough, it's that life. In other words, if you're right as far as, let's say, living the life, okay, then we're back to insanely high standards. If you are in your late 20s and you live that life, second adolescence, and you want someone your age who did, they're probably married, to be clear. Or you end up with, you are perfect just the way you are. No, you're not. You aren't good enough. You may not be. This is the problem. There is a biblical plan for your life, and there's an antithetical plan, and that's the feminist plan. It's go out and pursue the wrong things, career. Look, you do have a choice to make. You do have a choice. You cannot have it all, but you do have a choice, and that must be nice because men don't. And that's the truth. I had a conversation one time with a feminist woman, good woman, but a feminist woman, and she said, that's the biggest lie. She was sort of anti-third wave feminist, and she said the big lie that feminism told is that you can have it all, but you can't. You either have to pick to be a career woman, or you can, be a stay-at-home mom and wife. But it's, and I said, it must be nice to have a choice. She said, what? I said, no man has ever been given that choice. Do you think that if a man wants to have a wife and a family, he's told, and you can get all that if you're just a stay-at-home dad? You'll be beating them off with a stick. Never. From the moment we knew that we wanted to have our very own naked lady at home, you were told you're going to have to work for it. Well, by the sweat of your brow. Naked lady? Come on, what? Yeah. You want your own home naked lady. Someday, I tell you, I'm going to have my very own naked lady at home. Yes. She's going to have boobs and everything. At least one. At the beginning of that video, she also mentioned, she goes, what's telling you this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong. At some point, when do you look inward? At what point do you go, well, how do I, okay, well, I'm doing everything wrong. Everyone's doing everything wrong. Maybe they're right. Maybe it's not like a...
I must have stabilization on because this is acting delayed.
Yeah, it would be very different if I told this woman was having a long-term relationship. She has 10 years. That's what it is. I don't know this one, but I bet that's a big thing. I bet she was in a long relationship for a long time and it was just the wrong guy. That's not what she's saying. She's saying, I can't find a guy. I can't... How can you not
See if this screws it up.
when you're a pretty woman if you have it moderately together? And I will say this.
That's better.
And this is the problem with modern day.
Don't need stabilization when
everyone faces different obstacles, men and women. not told that they're wrong. They're corrected for being wrong. In the workplace, if you're in a sports team, by your own friends, right? Physically corrected. If you're too wrong, your friends physically correct you for being too wrong. Yes, it's not a gossip. We tend to damage other people through manipulation or gossip because they don't physically fight as much. Then it's, hey, you stepped over a line, you can't do that, and you come to blows. A boss says, hey, that was a bad job, and I'm sure that happened to you too, but we don't get the sugar-coated version. If you're in a sports team, my God, you're told that you are wrong all the time. So you can't go through life, get into your 30s and man, without having had to take accountability in a team environment. You don't get to say everyone says I'm wrong. It's I was wrong and I face consequences, and you correct it, or you decide not to. So I hope this woman gets it right. I hope this woman does look into it, and it's insanely high standards, or maybe there's a little bit of political insanity. Maybe he boiled someone's pet rabbit.
And I know most people don't want to hear this, but maybe she should try it.
Yes. Oh, that's are you saying smile more? That's never mind. Don't smile more. Die alone. So, speaking of die alone, at a certain point you can turn until you're blue in the face. There's what I see they're saying I need to change this and I need to change that. It's, the world needs to change. Not always. It's like that movie Rent, the play Rent, where everyone is, I guess that was where everyone is strolling around in Alphabet Village in New York City and using drugs with dirty needles, intravenous drugs, and then they get AIDS. And then they're going, there's actually a line in the film. This is when I got up, walked out, and then walked back in because I was like, it's going to torture me if you don't see how it ends. And it was worse. You don't need to change. The world needs to change. No. Hold on a second. You're screwing everybody and sharing dirty needles. You need to change. The whole world doesn't do that. It's a you problem, friends. All my friends are dying. Gee, it's a mystery. We have no idea how this is happening.
Let's sing about it.
Yes. And then I got it.
We'll lightly dance.
Yes. All right. Speaking of wrong, let's move on to this. Former Vice President Biden works at the office. Gave this commencement speech, and I'm sure he says at Morehouse College. But I also need to be clear. We're going to fact check all this. All the references are publicly available. We put the link in the description. He told the students, and I watched this. You can comment below. I said, is this guy
like the shirt?
actually a communist?
I don't know why on the studio was so bad.
Everything about it just reeks of the Communist Manifesto. Marx, the initiative. What's the difference between a Marxist, a communist, and a Leninist? I'm not sure, aside from the facial hair. You guys can comment below.
This is Morehouse College? It's a HBCU?
Yeah.
White man's job.
So he told them that America hated them because they were black.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Well, they just graduated college. Sorry, wrong clip. Right clip. That, and by the way, this speech is just what made it to prompter. What was cut was even worse.
Mr. High School graduation. Started college just as George Floyd was murdered. There was a reckoning on race. Democracy. Black men are being killed in the street. What is democracy? Trail of broken promises.
Pittsburgh, Oklahoma.
Slowly back to the black community behind. What is democracy?
He's actually asking. He doesn't do
10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What?
Most of all, what does it mean? Heard before. Be a black man who loves his country. Even if it doesn't love him back.
So much racist. Here's it. I don't know what he thinks. Really good. What's my name? What's my name? So, we also actually have some audio prep, which was worse.
Okay, Mr. President, I'm ready for the commencement address. I want to focus on... Perfection of Oak Creek pedestrian day for 4633 West Powder. We have a female caller. She was hit by a black man. Latest to Lincoln. Tom, 2 acres.
Thanks for liking the stream on X.
And 4633 West Powder. Artery traffic unit monitoring.
You're good.
205 is okay.
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, I got one here. Sorry about that.
Okay. Just read the property, please.
Brandy never gave me no scan. Hello?
Brandy is tight-fisted with the skin, so you know what? I can't fault him for that. Let's go through. Did you? No. Okay. Let's go through the first claim. I didn't know if you had something. There you go. First claim that he makes.
Alright.
He says that George Floyd
Yeah, every time I answer
was
it.
murdered.
We started calling just as George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
You couldn't tell George Floyd out of a lineup, dude.
No.
You have sent new messages and 3 old messages.
Yes.
Monday, 8:03 a.m.
Hi, this is Karen Williams. I applied for a cleaning job at Impact Employment Solutions. I was calling in concerns of seeing what's the update on that. If you can call me back at 419-417-3615.
Message deleted. Monday, 8:08 a.m. Monday, 8:13 a.m.
Hi, my name is Colton Webster. I had called you guys Friday. Someone told me to call Monday to see if they
No
needed
life-threatening
any
injuries.
workers
You know this,
downtown
but
today
fentanyl
clean.
actually harms a lot of us.
I know orientation is tomorrow, so if I can join orientation or I
It's
can
almost like we have an epidemic.
start today.
Fatal
Message deleted. Monday, 9:00 a.m.
Hi, my name is
Just so
Tracy
you know,
Lennon. I
we did
was
this a long time
calling
ago. Before we got
about
fired for
my
it, but I stand by it.
orientation.
We showed
I
you,
never
in case you
received
want to watch
the
what the
schedule
description,
or
that the knee
time
alone,
frame
Shopton's knee alone,
start.
would not, at this point in time,
Message
George Lucas,
deleted.
if you're going to sit down,
Monday,
or sorry, get
9:09
down on the ground for 9 minutes here, you're willing to let someone kneel on your neck for
Message
9 minutes,
deleted.
I'll allow Shopton to be declared not
10:00
guilty.
a.m.
I did exactly
My
that,
name is Olga.
and
If
it
you
was
could please give me a
most
call.
wildly uncomfortable.
Message deleted.
It's time for me to
End
go
of
outside
message.
and live on concrete, knee on neck / shoulder for 9 minutes.
Kneel on my neck, your shoulder up, plus the
Oh my goodness, okay.
I just don't understand when we decided that violent offenders who are resisting arrest are supposed to be entirely comfortable. One, and now we're there by 2 seconds. All right,
You
so
have
get off.
4 new
Get off.
messages.
Okay, good. There we go. We're done.
Monday,
Now, the worst part of that was actually they
8:31
put on
a.m.
the handcuffs the wrong way.
Okay,
So
so
my ass
up,
so it was actually more. People were so pissed off that we did this. Don't care. I also didn't have 3 times a lethal dose of fentanyl in my system. So I almost feel like we're just about to scare my teeth.
Or THC.
But you don't have any tolerance either.
Message
George
deleted.
Floyd had the tolerance of a horse.
Monday,
Yeah,
9:49
that's true. That's
a.m.
fair. That's fair. But we're so fentanyl.
Hello, I was
I
calling
don't know
to see if
equine
I can
prescriptions.
come in
Let's
to
go
fill out an
to the
application.
next claim that he makes, which is pretty easy to debunk, and we will. That black men are being killed on the street.
Deleted.
What is democracy?
21 a.m.
Black men are being killed in the street.
Hi, this is from
Here's the
Preston
truth.
calling. I believe his name is Tim that I spoke to.
That is true, but it's
On
by
the
other black
101
men,
Main Street office.
largely.
I would
So
like to
in
call back
2019,
someone
89% of black murder victims
419.
were killed by a black offender.
Message deleted.
89%.
End of messages.
Wow. You can't find that high of a percentage point for anything.
No. Well, they were most of them were black cops, to be fair.
So, we're not black cops.
All right.
Black cops
That
are
was
great.
fun.
They are the most at-risk group as far as, well, almost any profession in the country. They're at significantly higher risk than other cops as far as being targeted. Here's another truth, by the way, that police officers, they're not out to black men, to be clear. They're actually 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than killing a black suspect themselves. Again, that reference to Bill. 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than to kill a black suspect. Not to mention this study that came out of Harvard. I don't know if you know the guy who conducted the study. 23% less likely black Americans to be shot by police than whites. They are 23. Don't get pulled over by racist cops to be shaken down because they have a and a baggie of weed, I get it. But as far as black men being gunned down, it is not happening by cops. Far more young black men are gunning down cops, and far more young black men are being gunned down by other black men. It's over. That's it. Myth busted. You don't get to repeat this anymore. Done.
Yeah, and the media will not ever catch a report on that stuff because all they did was tell us that black people were being killed at will by police officers.
Did he also say all this in front of the flag from Congo?
I think that is the Congo.
The place where they're literally selling people and enslaving people for batteries.
Yes. Also, they have white apes with laser guns.
No.
Yeah.
They find the mines.
Yes. People younger than 30 are like, what? It's a horrible film, but I still have the promotional popcorn bucket.
Do you really?
I do. Here's the next claim.
Here's a whole collection. He's all his popcorn buckets in his house.
Yes.
I have Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Oh, popcorn bucket.
Did you get that Dune 2 promotional?
No. Mine are the classic.
Flashlight thing?
That looks really weird, by the way.
Yeah.
A little Burger King watch from Jurassic Park: Lost World, where if you click it, it's flipped open like it was a dino cage.
Why are you buying those things?
I don't buy those things. I keep those things. So, another claim that he makes here is that blacks, as he calls them,
It is 113, 120,
get to be 10 times better taking a fair shot.
What is democracy? You have to be 10
Please
times
provide
better
it
than
will
all
say,
to get the
call
job.
reporting on the shoulder,
What?
male and female fighting next to a black Chevy.
Listen, I'm sorry, but these kids were 22-ish years old. Imagine sitting in that audience and hearing him say that you're about to embark on life and believing what he's saying.
Well, actually, Reverend Al Sharpton was in the audience, and he seemed to be like, here's Fat Al Sharpton. The truth is that, look, you may experience individual racism, but as far as systemic racism, black Americans are actually given special treatment not afforded to any other demographic in this country right now, aside from maybe illegal immigrants. And by the way, I have my gripes there too. So let me give you an example. Harvard, black students, for example, in the bottom 40%, when they're going to Harvard, bottom 40% of their class, they have a 19% chance of being admitted.
This is like applicants.
Yes,
like your high school
applicants are.
targets.
Yeah, the bottom 40%. So black people, if black students, if they're bottom 40% of their class, they apply to Harvard, they have a 19% chance of being admitted. Asian students in the bottom 40, a 1.7 chance. White students, 2.8. Hispanic students, 7.8. It's not even close. And there are other examples, of course, of affirmative action. I think it's distinctly racist. And I think it's a horrible thing for a black student, for a young black American, to not know if they've actually earned their spot. But hey, that's equity as opposed to equality. If you're, we had this with a Change My Mind, this one black girl said, I don't think I would have been able to get into UT, not for affirmative action. I said, well, you didn't have good grades? No, I had great grades. I said, well, what were your extracurriculars? Like, she said, great. No, I was top 2% of my class, which was valedictorian. I said, I think that's really sad that you think you only got in here because of your colors, because you actually deserve to be here. And I hope that you take some pride in that and not belittle it by thinking some bureaucrat riddled with white guilt admitted you. Oh, okay. Thank you. I think it's cruel. I think affirmative action is actually cruel. Just like I think it would be cruel to put someone with a physical disability on an oil rig. They shouldn't be there if they're not qualified, and they're more likely to get hurt. So this is where we are, and you can sound off. I'd love to hear if you're, especially if you're a young black American who worries about affirmative action having benefited you. Is that something you struggle with? I can imagine that's pretty tough. You have Biden here just pandering. He's pandering because you have Donald Trump, who has a higher percentage of the black vote than any Republican since Nixon. Probably won't remember, Nixon was actually quite popular when he ran compared to most Republicans with black Americans. And this is what we're seeing right now, a surge in black support for Donald Trump, which of course, by the way, has CNN freaking out.
Oh my God!
What is it with the clips today? Ron, here's this CNN clip.
But look at this number for Donald Trump, 22%. Where was Donald Trump at this point 4 years ago in the polls? He was just at 9% of the vote, so he's seen more than a doubling in his support among African Americans. This margin, which was in the 70s just 4 years ago, look at where it is now, 69 minus 22. That puts it in the 40s. My goodness gracious. If this
It's the same guy.
Impact Component Solutions, I'm speaking up and help you.
He got 40s. He didn't have the time to come up with 47, but
Trump will be the 47th president, so I guess it works.
Yeah, there's symmetry. I see a lot to be hopeful about, and not just this election, not just Donald Trump, of course, President Trump becoming president again. But I see a cultural shift where a lot of people are not buying what they're selling. And I want to sort of spend some time on that before I go to the next story, which so, I mean, what?
do you think that President Biden was asked by Morehouse to do it? Or do you think that?
Hold on, I'm sorry, who?
Oh, sorry, Vice President. I
Former.
respect the office. Former Vice President. Do you think that they asked him or that he asked that?
Oh, yeah.
That's a 50-50 shot.
I'm going. He asked that.
We have an octogenarian white guy that wants to come speak at your black college.
I'm thinking he tried 3 other HBCUs.
Yes.
Before
Looks like you're
wanted to say yes.
still a couple of months away from being eligible to go back to electroprime. One other thing right now,
By the way, you might as well have gotten up there and said, hey, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. The police.
yeah, that's what they have here. Well, I mean, plus even when you were working, you didn't work a whole week, so and it was also attendance. So yeah, generally it's a 6-month wait either way. I doubt you're on the do not hire list, so that would be eligible probably in August. One of the dates or July. And the only other thing right now is the cleanup crew for the mud hens. But that does require a background review and issue there. Okay. About 15.
I don't know if they call it that.
Well, I mean it's cleanup after it's not 40 hours. It's cleanup after every game. So the schedule the way it looks right now, the next few games are next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
By the way, none of this happens.
But you'd have to come and do the orientation for it. Is your email still mubau967@gmail? All right, and what is your current phone number?
Proceeds go to our veterans and service members. So we're happy to be able to do
I'm going to send you some onboarding tests to do,
the election.
and I'm going to send you a text from our system. The way it works now is, and then when those onboarding tests are done, just text the number that you received the text from, that you're done, and then we'll go from there.
So here's something I know you're going to say, why are you spending time on this? Well,
Well, I mean, it's like I said, the next date is until next Tuesday, so yeah, we got time to get it ready. That's why we want to get the ball rolling now, okay? All right. Just, like I said, I'm gonna send you a text. Text the number that you received the text back. It's not the same number that you called, okay?
He held her at gunpoint, and she
All right,
had
bye.
a daughter there. I believe the daughter was about 3 years old. That happened. Unfortunately, a lot of people on the right went out and told you that George Floyd pointed a gun at a pregnant lady's belly. That's not true. That didn't happen. He did hold a lady at gunpoint in front of her daughter in her own house. Hey, the truth should be enough. You already have something significant that's a point of discussion. Instead, unfortunately, in the era of clickbait, people decide that they need to embellish, they need to one up someone else, and then you end up leaving.
Definitely come back with Children's White with an adverse in Mansfield, Ohio.
And I will tell you, this is a problem. I'm worried about it because truth is not subjective. The phrase "my truth" is silly. It's something that stupid people say. There is the truth. So, this is a perfect example. And it seems inconsequential, but apply it to any news event. April 21st, this account explaining the universe on Instagram posted this video that got millions and millions of plays, 47.8 million plays to be clear. I don't know how many millions of reactions. It involved this herring rescue of a sea turtle. It's fake.
I wonder if you were young.
audio. It's a shark trying to kill a sea turtle.
Sea turtle gets away.
Sea turtle gets away. Good for you, turtle. He's committed a crime.
They take the turtle from his home. Kidnap him.
They let the turtle out. And Jones, according to this video, you see what happens next is amazing. The turtle began diving back to the divers, and it ate the jellyfish to protect the diver. The diver offers a thank you.
They're eating like Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, exactly. Only his face is going to look like a itch.
Is this working at all?
Jellyfish. So, first off, I watched it and I thought it was probably fake because sea turtles they don't save other sea turtles from jellyfish that way. They don't have a memory of what happened. Also, when I watched one along, that diver's not the one who rescued the sea turtle, and it looks like a different sea turtle.
Yeah, when did the frat boys get a scuba suit?
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. The original story, and I found this because the person who posted the original story commented on this on Instagram. Said, that's not true, though. This is actually, I was the one in the water. That was my story. That's not what happened. By the way, this can also misinform people as to sea turtle behavioral patterns, but take this
That's the real one.
and apply it to elections.
It is election season.
Apply it to abortion. Apply it to gun laws. Apply it to George Floyd. The original clip was posted by two accounts, by the way. February 21st, the Dodo and this other account, the Native Explorer. And this is the real sea turtle video, but it only has 1.1 million views compared to the 47 million views. Okay, see if you can spot the problem. It's still a great story, the real one.
Like a puppy. The Delta bodies.
Oh, Ron Driven.
She was mimicking. Sounds like the same guy. Then I thought, how can I make the Delta be more comfortable with that? Maybe I need she brought the jellyfish to the surface. She shared the jellyfish with us. She was waiting for me to feed her the jellyfish. I want to see the video from the jellyfish perspective. The same music's playing, by the way. And at this point, they all started eating me. I was in shock because humans are not supposed to eat me.
And then another account takes it. Wow, the jellyfish is dead. This make it count. So go to the Dodo Native Explorer and try and boost their like count and support them. Look, this person is actually out there doing the work, studying. I don't know what studying, and I'm assuming that this is correct too. This person could be lying.
Unit 42421, call your shot fire alert. Coming in for 542 leech. 2 rounds. I'll get you a pinpoint. 542 leech. 420.
It seems inconsequential. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you.
542 each.
This industry for 2 decades.
So that's
This
it.
happens all the time. Remember that number where they said 2.7 million new voters without ID or 2.4 million in Texas? It's not true. The good news is, hey, it's not true. Because if that happened to be true, guess
Liars.
what? Texas goes blue and loses every election forevermore. But it's not true. Because people will take the real issue that maybe thousands of people who register without some kind of ID. That's an issue. We need to shore up our
Yeah, new
elections.
office.
Absolutely.
Well, this room is temporary. They're renovating my office.
But that doesn't help you. It only lines the pockets of people who create the content.
I'm in the east side of Toledo now.
Turns out, by the way, that the turtle is just Shelley, the renowned turtle actor we all know. Here's a look at Shelley's portfolio. That's, yeah, BPO as well. That was Shelley's also been in some pop culture films. Yep, Shelley, the turtle. There you go. And even family films, Shelley was in there. So, you know, good for Shelley.
Good for Dad. Dory. But
Dory did.
yeah, that was a.
Are you doing a Dory?
No, I was answering my own question. It was bad timing, bad joke. Sorry, guys.
And the statistics are really, they're pretty dire. Look, fake news on social media, it's 32% of Americans between the ages of 18 and 19, they get their news from TikTok. by the way, TikTok,
29, not 18 and 19.
18 and 20 and 29, sorry.
And cruise on the
TikTok
shop
is owned by
spotter,
ByteDance,
it's
a
gonna be
Chinese
showing on the
company with direct
sidewalk
ties to
at
Chinese
542
Party
east on the
the
Grove
other day
Street
for
side.
saying that she should
We're
be
now
a
also
small
in
penis, and that's
shot
really
fire 532 Earl.
objective. And there's censorship, obviously, none of us here are fans of censorship. There's a big difference between media censorship, for example, opinions that they don't like, and things like bots, foreign governments, stealing content to profit off of it and claiming it as your own. This is a different, and this is happening quite a bit. You know what's going to happen? 10, 15 years from
People
now,
shooting
you're
back
gonna
and
have
forth.
content to steal. There are billions of
Yeah, I know.
fake
Actually have a window.
accounts, bots on social media, and
Not in basement.
people aren't able to identify them. There was a recent study at Notre Dame that showed people misidentified bots 58% of the time. It's about 160 million of the accounts on TikTok alone.
Wow, that's insane. That's that many. 160 million fake accounts.
Yeah, that's why
I
people
want
like
to take a test. I want to see if I can identify.
it
I
became
don't
pretty
think I
tough.
can.
That's why people like Jackson Hinkle can thrive when 40% of the followers are bots. Hit the like button. Hit the like button if you've noticed some bots in your timeline. By the way,
I do usually send some nudes in bio.
yes.
Street Cindy called out.
She's real and she likes it. If you are a short, fat, furry, poor man and a perfect woman is telling you to send them your routing number, do as you please. You know what? Seems like a good deal.
It sounds like you're directly
And
talking
cruise
to
on the shop spotter alert. The dog is near the entrance. They have no suspect information.
You know you're not hear you.
No, I'm not. I was just
You're not furry.
basically. I have a furry on the weekends.
Yeah.
So don't tell my kids.
No, it's okay. They're too young to watch this. But as we discuss foreign governments here, you have China, you have Russia, Iran. They lead the way in spreading misinformation. It is not necessarily about Donald Trump, what they try to make you believe. They, for example, okay, China, Russia, Iran, 400 articles that were spread on social media about the campus protests in the first 2 weeks of the protests. A lot of misinformation out there. As far as stealing content, this happens all the time. It happens with us. Happens with other people out there. That 40% of traffic to Facebook went to pages that pretty much entirely steal content. TikTok actually has tutorials on how to steal other people's content. It's a click farm business to make money by lying to you. None of it matters. That's why we make all of our references publicly available. We make mistakes, and I understand there's a difference between making
I started another one just to have a presence there.
on never creating anything of value.
That reminds me.
Stealing, lying, and profiting off of it. And I'm telling you, this happens.
I had my tiki-taki.
Right? And it happens with stories that aren't even political. It happens all the time, and it's a very, very scary thought to think of a generation of people who are raised with this. I get it. It's great that CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, they should not be the gatekeepers to media. But we do need to expect better from all of ourselves. And I would say this: if the program you watch does not provide references consistently, you should probably switch. Yeah. Outside of us here, I would switch. I won't actually follow any profiles. I won't watch any programs that just say things with no references whatsoever. Because anyone can say anything at any time. And you need to be given the tools to fact check it. Whether it's a sea turtle or it's a pipe bursting in Atlanta, Georgia in the middle of the night in an election.
Yeah. No, I think it's really important too. Like we've talked about this the whole time. Like use us as a source because we give you all of our sources, but find other ones too. Like this is a problem that we have to clean ourselves. Too many people fall victim to this. They very quickly just run through a timeline and go, yes, repost, yes, like that, comment on this, and don't even question the provider. I keep seeing the same people.
Well, nurses do it all the
talking
time.
about the same stupid things, and I'm going like, I can't trust this person for anybody. I'm going to mute that person so that I don't see their stuff anymore because I know they're just putting stuff out there that they don't even know anything about. Yeah, but that's what has to be done. But also on X with Elon Musk with community notes, that's one of the ways that you can actually do it, and it's not perfect. I mean, it's got a lot of problems with it, but at least it's trying to solve the problem.
I would say this as a relates to news. You should sooner watch a leftist, liberal, Marxist news resource that provides all the references than a right-wing one that provides nothing. Because the most important tool that you have at your disposal here is yourself. I'm not calling you a tool, I get it, but just come on, grow up. You are the one who you need to be the sieve through which this is filtered. You need to be. And it's comment, please, if you've run into this and you found yourself caught flat-footed. It happens to everyone. It happens to the best of us. It can be really, really hard to decipher real news from fake news. And you know what? It's a big deal for people who, imagine that guy. If you go out there, you're actually studying sea turtles, you get a boat, you spend all this time, and some other guy makes 20 times the revenue that you do by lying about it and claiming it as their own. That's a real problem, and it's against the law. It's against the law. So we support people who create content, period, who actually create the content, who actually try and hold themselves accountable to you. And by the way, another way you can support Not Mug Club is the CrowderShop.com. You can fight like hell with us to try and preserve this constitutional republic. I won't say democracy because it's some bullshit.
By the way, do you know what happens to people steal your shirt designs?
Oh yeah, that
I'm not even kidding.
To the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, the communism is for a fake shirt.
Yeah, stolen.
That was a big one.
Go to CrowderShop.com. You're not going to see it on Etsy, whatever the hell else other site, eBay.
Oh, someone go find us on eBay.
Oh no.
I saw an actual three-piece Hell's Angels vest. They were selling it. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Purchase an accurate was Hell's Angels vest and go wear it in the clubhouse.
Was it game board?
Somebody can find it on eBay. I was like, this is the worst idea I've ever seen in my life. It's probably someone from Alibaba who doesn't understand it. It's like, yeah, it's like, I think it's like a Harvard fashion statement.
No, I heard someone joke. He put up on Pinterest. The joke was, I'm married, which is like, which means I know somebody who makes salad like a mason jar or something. It was something silly like that. And people started putting it on like mason jars and mugs. They were selling it on eBay and on Pinterest and stuff like that. Without getting to that joke anymore.
Well, there are going to be some lawsuits because as a comedian, you actually own the copyright, you own the literary copyrights and the spoken word copyrights. Yeah, so that's one of those. Otherwise, hey, if you don't want any new, there will be no next Nick DiPaolo, no next Pryor, no next Carlin, no next Bill Burr. It won't happen. Why would someone take the risk, go out and do it, if they're just going to be ripped off and someone lies about it? There will be no valid news. There will be no valid news sources. And Gerald, look, and not to spend too much time on this, but you know this, the industry is set up on this, where it's a share for a share. It's, hey, when you share this is picking up steam. And if we don't, because it's not true, then you're a demon. And it's like, oh, well, if you're not supportive, we're not going to support. Well, but yeah, but I don't want to share the post that's a lie. Or sensational. Which is the next story. This is a great example. People said the Iranian president. He did die. He did die. So that's fun. But the Iranian president, Raisi, was. Now, this doesn't, spoiler, it doesn't change. Thanks a lot. Yeah. It doesn't change a whole lot, but it is significant. Raisi, Iran, was killed when the helicopter crash took place in, I believe it was northwestern Iran, which is, it's not the best area of Iran, but it's up and coming.
Let's just show you pictures from Iran's state TV just a couple of minutes ago. They confirmed the death of President Raisi and the Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian in a helicopter crash. And Ali Hasham's here in the studio, and several men fall Iranians.
See, I appreciate that he said crash, but according to state media, they first said the helicopter made a hard landing.
Yeah.
A really hard landing.
Really hard landing. And by the way, it's a helicopter, not a helicopter.
It was a great helicopter.
Helicopter.
Hey, Sparky. We're going to listen to Robert Gavea once at noon. Get caught up on that content.
But there's a bit of confusion as to how it got off course. Some unconfirmed reports claim that President Raisi asked to make a quick detour to Kuwait to visit his second favorite restaurant.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Second favorite restaurant? What was his favorite?
That's KFC, Kuwaiti fried chicken.
Oh, yeah, really? It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
See, look, they got the face on there. That's it.
It's not real.
And by the way, the country's
Check our sources.
The country's supreme leader, that's what he wants to be called. I often call him a dick.
Can you imagine asking? No, it's supreme.
It's supreme leader.
Most high? No.
What does supreme mean? Supreme
Exercise. All the veggies.
So the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, very similar names. So the country's actual supreme leader released this statement on X saying, With deep sorrow and regret, I have received the bitter news of the martyrdom of the people's president, the competent, hardworking Haj Saeed Ibrahim Raisi, and his esteemed entourage. Sure. So,
Martyrdom?
yeah, I guess.
I mean, hold on. What did the Jews invent fog and have fog lasers that killed him, and now he gets to be a martyr because his helicopter crashed because a freaking O-ring went out?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, what's up with the regret, too? What do you regret?
maybe he
Cutting the line of the cars?
forcing he had to take off in the fog, and Allah would protect him. He was told that from the supreme leader himself.
Yep, that's what he was. Oh, by the way, really much runs the country. So let me give you a quick recap as to who this person is. In 1988, Raisi oversaw the murder of hundreds of political opponents as a member of the Tehran Death Committee. Well, that's a thing for it. Tehran Death Committee. They didn't even try to hide it.
No.
I want to see that motorcycle jacket.
The Committee on Mountain Research. No. Tehran Death Committee.
Has a nice ring, does it not? You have an idea now. So 2021, this guy was elected as the 8th president of Iran. Yeah. He also was president over a time. There were a bunch of there were these huge mass protests. You may not remember this. After there was this death. Masha Amini, for those who don't remember, Amini died after being arrested for not wearing a hijab.
Show us your hair! Did you get beads for that?
I don't know.
Yes, you did. It's almost like you guys should stage a coup and throw out the theocracy and take your country back.
You would think so. But
Do the work.
no, Nike's too busy creating hijab burgers. Sorry, Nike burgers. Nike hijabs? I don't know. They did something. It's moisture wicking.
So your hijab.
Just me. So, Raisi, just to be clear, is the key fact, was not the real leader of Iran. This is what I think is most important. That's the Ayatollah. Okay, the Ayatollah is head of the state, right? Basically all commerce. He's the commander. Iran's actually the only nation where the executive branch does not control it. The president does not control the military. That is the Ayatollah. The president is completely subordinate to the Ayatollah. So, what does this mean?
I didn't know they had a president. Turns out they don't.
No.
They do really. They have a figurehead.
And so the Ayatollah, because you have some people on X, yeah, right here, they're trying to tell you this is going to change everything. So I think this is overly C6. You have influencers who are saying, this death is going to change the world. The world is about to drastically change. No, it's not about to drastically change, just to be clear. That's not true. So to give you an idea, before this man died, Hamas was largely funded by Iran. Iran is the biggest funder of terrorism globally, okay? And you were paying for it. So, for example, the Obama nuclear deal with Iran was $1.7 billion, and then former Vice President Biden unfroze $6 billion in Iranian oil revenue. That money goes directly, or in a lot of ways, goes directly to terrorism. Now, some of that money is still locked in Qatar, one of the other biggest funders of terrorism, and Qatar, the single biggest donor to American universities of any foreign entity, not even close. So, what happened before the death? Your tax dollars go to fund terrorism. What has happened after the death? Exactly the same thing, because the Ayatollah is still in charge.
It's just going to be more of the same. Everybody was making this point. Like, I understand thinking some foul play, right? Because there's been obviously.
It's Iran!
Well, yeah, of course they're thinking foul play because the incoming president already has new business cards made.
What is this, receipt for Visa print?
Just pay for shipping.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Cheryl snuck it in there, man.
The reason this is funny is because the new president of Iran is screwed. Like, now I'm picturing the new president of Iran, he's like still subscribed to Columbia House Records.
The president of Iran only travels by car.
I get helicopters. I get thinking maybe there was some foul play, right? It's Iran, but it's also Iran and Israel. Tensions are really high right now.
Right.
I think something happened there. But then to rush out and say, like, hey, this is going to be this big freaking deal and the whole world's going to change. It's like, well, no, it's really not. You should just tell people the truth and be like, look, it's going to be more of the same. Unless the next guy is going to kill the Ayatollah and take over the country, it's going to be more of the same. It's whatever the direction is from the Ayatollah.
Exactly. And this is the problem with fake news proliferating.
Yes, and
oh my gosh, World War III. No, look, you're funding terrorism globally.
Yeah, it's pretty bad lately.
Did you know that you were funding terrorism globally? So when people say we're funding both sides of the war, we're really funding all sides of the war all the time, all sides of global conflict all the time. And the United States foots the bill for everybody more than anyone else in the history of the world. That's the issue, and that is not going to change. Now, in all fairness, because of foul play, President Raisi should have likely seen the warning signs.
Yeah.
But now I have Monster Mash.
Well, all my appointments canceled.
Just looks at his Google Calendar. Is he cleared? Oh, fuck.
I can't log into my email.
Call me. I told you. I don't know. It's like, what's up with me doing a software update? I don't know.
Call us when you land.
Knock them dead at your speech. I've heard you're going to make quite an impact. All right, sucks. I don't care. I don't think that.
Murderous thug. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of tears.
And that's not saying that Iran is always. It just sucks today.
The presidency is going right now. You're on fire.
You're too good. You're the bomb.
They're going to eat it up. Makes sense in 1 second. They crashed in the place that has like the largest population of wolves in the country.
Oh.
They planned this. They got there flying through the fog. The pilot's like, oh, looks like a bunch of fog. Why is the ground on fire? I think it's smoke.
Yes. The last words that the president heard were that there was a pilot saying, okay, we are approaching the wolf's den. What? Huh? Nothing.
Why are you wearing a parachute?
That's another thing. People wear parachutes now. You haven't heard of the new, it's Christian Dior parachute. So the story's going to dominate the news cycle, but just look, what's really happening is, okay, the president was a douchebag, the Ayatollah is a douchebag, not much will change, but that's not going to stop social media from sensationalizing and lying to you about it, and that happens whether it is the former vice president on the economy, they will lie to you about this and try and tell you that things are going well, they will lie to you about the Ayatollah, about the Iranian president, or sea turtles. It doesn't matter as long as people can make a profit. And that's why we do what we do, and we appreciate your support because all this is funded by you, and we don't need to do that. We can make jokes, but we don't need to present you with fake news as though it's real. I know it's weird going to say, hey, I don't believe that was actually the president, and that, no, you're right, that was the rotoscope Photoshop of MASH, okay? It's not lost on me.
Same helicopter, though.
Same helicopter.
Same model.
Refurbished.
Same Korean.
Lightly used. So we appreciate your support, and do consider joining up because especially it's a sprint for us right now between now and the election. You can go to liveascredit.com/monthly or just click that button below. $10 off with the promo code military for Military Appreciation Month. You can click that button right down there. We're going to continue actually right now in Mug Club. I forgot we haven't played this, and I don't know if we've ever played this.
Yeah, we have played it one time, and
That's right.
Gerald's a sneaky good because he knows all the supposed to know. He knows all the football stuff.
Yes. Well, we're going to be playing Sylvester Stallone or College Football Coach, which is a lot more fun than it sounds.
It is.
So if you're watching on Rumble, you click there, boom, join Mug Club, keep watching with us, we'll take your check. If you're watching on YouTube, listen.
Gardner Channel.
Doing a quick update. The Iranian government is now blaming the United States because of the sanctions. They're saying that the sanctions is what led to them not being able to, service a helicopter, make it not crash. Fog and mountains. I think the fog and mountains were mostly the issue.
Yeah.
Well, that and the hard landing.
And the packs of wild wolves.
I know. Can you believe that? Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a nice meal for those guys.
Yes. It was basically the Iranian gray.
It was a little barbecue. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine him surviving? He survives. And he puts glass on it. He watches the grave right before he did. He's like, this works.
I have a very particular set of skills. It works. The glass doesn't work. It just breaks in my knuckles. It was terrible. And I had a horrible stomach flu. I was in D.C. That was the year I missed CPAC. I hosted like 4 years.
Radio was going in and out. I copied that.
And so then the next day
The
I
film
went and I
was
saw the
girl at
gray.
2:45.
It was cold.
And a Honda
And it was
Civic
gray. And
driver's
I
side.
saw the film and I
Pulled
just
up on
wanted
the
to swallow
dumpster.
my knife.
Such a weird. Was it the Ray or was it the Ray or the Fray?
No, it's the
And
gray.
then about 25 seconds later, that male with the Jordan shorts came running back around the beach.
Oh, he's in both.
I'm not sure if that might have been involved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that song.
Hey, look. The darker left. This is great.
This is my fault.
That's how I learned. I'll just leave it.
Here's to let you know, we don't have to take any more, all these guys. And we have no event.
You can make a whole song.
Where are you from? Alien.
Even if we do,
Panama City.
it'd probably be justified.
Those are two different places.
Somebody drowned hard
What are you like, Steven Seagal down there?
Tallahassee. Okay, the gray. I love how Iran blames the United States. Now, maybe you should have bought domestic. Do you think there's anyone in Iran like, be Iranian, buy Iranian? It's like,
Not if he was flying Iranian.
What? Bye.
Is this like Boeing Iran?
come on, we should be so lucky. Well, yeah, that's one of the things where globally they're laughing at us and they're right.
You think when the president crashed, he said, Kobe! Sorry.
Ouch. Well, he could have. We don't know. That's speculation. It's not fair.
It won't happen to me.
No, so.
It's the way, like, he really had that mom mentality.
Yes.
Respected myself.
Iran sucks. It does. Yeah, I don't like it. Not a big fan. The women used to wear, if not bikinis, at least one pieces back in the 70s.
70s, yeah. 70s Iran was moving in the right direction. Maybe we messed it up a little bit in our...
We did play.
Our bad, fine.
Yeah, we went
We did.
Weirdo. I like the One Piece.
I prefer the One Piece. I wear One Piece. That's the old man. That's the
You look like a real leotard.
That was Iran.
Too, yeah.
They're very white.
Yeah, they're very Iranian.
Persian women are very Iranian. Well, I mean, they can be Iranian. Oh my God. Well, let's talk. Persian women.
I don't give a fuck what you say. I can do shit my way. So you can go get crops. I'ma stack bricks up, do what I want to. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
He just has done so much crap.
Well, he kind of got fit into that action star.
He fit himself into
fine.
it.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because that was actually kind of fun for me growing up with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and those guys. Like, it was good to have them as action stars. The movies weren't great, except for Terminator 2, of course.
Stallone always, maybe it's his the way he speaks, but he always felt like a guy they can relate to, like a guy. Oh yeah, look at this.
Got everything working now.
Yeah, he can be. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it started with Rocky. Again, this is the movie he wrote it.
You might be able to get this to work with Wi-Fi where it is now on the regular desktop. So next time, that's what we'll do.
Full mastiff, bought it back for like 10 grand.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's sad he had to do that, but that's
But
awesome.
he always planned on buying him back. He believed in him, and he bought the dog back. So he was also rapidly anti-gun.
Basically pawned his dog, though.
Yeah. And Arnold, the worst. Just to be clear, not a fan of Arnold in any capacity whatsoever. I get it. People say, "Oh, he's a Republican." The guy is a serial liar. The guy's a
Oh yeah, his COVID stuff, his big screw your freedom. Yeah.
But he also, by the way,
Yeah, hearing an Austrian guy
Impact
say
and
screw
fun.
your freedom is just hard on the ears.
rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah.
No.
I've heard this before.
And he gave the worst. People today still think I train like Arnold. No, you don't, because Arnold didn't train like Arnold. He wasn't training 2 hours twice a day, 7 days a week, like he said. And you can find other bodybuilders who believed it, like a guy named Tom Platz.
Let me
They
see.
call him, I think, the golden
Pull
eagle.
it
The
up
guy had
here.
like the biggest legs ever. Tom Platz. The quad fighter. And he's actually pretty great
We
name.
called the kid in high
Which
school.
halfway house were you at?
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. Hey, he was very cool. It
Yeah,
wasn't,
yeah, they
it was his nickname.
screw us over quite a bit,
It was
and you
all
guys
respect. It
too.
was all
With silly restrictions and stuff like that.
Tom Platz. And he's actually
All right, what was your last four?
No, that's just how he is.
Oh, he got a little red. He got a little red speedo.
You know what? You guys can find the
It's just
watch
easier to
that,
pull
you
it
guys can
up there,
find Tom Platz training his legs, and it really does look like gay pornography.
Gotcha. Here.
He's like, because he has a spotter, he's like, pump it, harder, faster, harder, faster. The guy's like pushing the leg extension thing.
Yeah.
But he said, I trained with Arnold. Because common wisdom is right, you need to recover. And Arnold's saying, I train twice a day, 2 hours a day. That's why I'm the best. Well, no, you're the best because you got your knees from one of the Weeder brothers, let's be clear.
Okay, your email's still AdamBauerMaster3@gmail.
I got pudgy and weak.
Really?
Yeah, because he was overtraining. He couldn't do it. Arnold didn't do it,
switch
and
that.
you can also train a whole lot more on steroids. So
And,
anybody goes and picks
current
up
phone
Arnold's
number?
bodybuilding Bible, guess what? It's a troll. Like the Arnold press, he did this. The Arnold press, where I do an overhead press, but then I go like that. But here's the thing: gravity only works this way. This does nothing. What it does do is strain your rotator. It strains your shoulder, puts it in a compromised position, so you're more likely to get injured. And
Okay, I'm going to start off by sending you some onboarding tasks, and end up going to send you a text through our system. That's the number you want to text back once those onboarding tests are done, okay? I'm going to send you the text now to make sure you get it on the line with you.
It's just what happens is you just become an elitist.
Copy number.
Anyway, explain to us the rules of Sylvester Stallone or college football coach, Julian.
All right, so I'm going to give you a lower third has a name on it,
Right.
and you have to guess whether it is from a Stallone movie or a college football coach, and Gerald goes last.
Okay, yes, that's right. All right, I have to. And you can play along and chat. Thank you to all the new Muggle members. We know that there are a lot of you as we gear up for the election season. We appreciate you being here. And if you get all of them right, you get a lock of Gerald's trepanning.
Can I propose another rule?
Yeah.
No fooling from Gerald over there.
Yeah, if he knows it.
I don't want him psyching me out. I want him going,
Okay, I just sent it.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that.
Gerald's very adept at lying, which worries me.
Well, I like it. I like a man who comes out as honest and can lie really well.
Yeah, but he's not
I
fully
don't follow that guy anywhere.
He's in charge of my financial
It still says sending. Okay, it just went through. It just went through.
It's a bad joke.
Maybe,
Okay, cool. So that's working. And then you should get an email with the link to do your
tells me I need to make better choices.
your onboarding tasks. If you need to reset your password, just your username is your email, and then you just click forgot password if you have to reset it.
Or see
Okay.
the name.
All right. Just let me know via text. Just text that number back when it's done, and it'll chime right on my computer. Okay.
College football coach. Josh, what do you think?
You're welcome. Bye.
judging on the way it's spelled wrong, Sylvester Stallone.
Is that how they spelled Rey Mysterio? Is that how he spelled his name in wrestling?
I think it is. Yeah, but he's well documented to have a Spanish character.
No, okay.
for Zoe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you know this one, Drew?
You're gonna have to go last.
Also, Ray means king.
Oh, does it?
R-E-Y means king.
We was raised. So, I'm going to say.
Thinking it wrong though, she named Devil Rays.
I'm going to say, yeah, I'll say Sylvester Stallone.
I think so too. I don't know this one, but I do think the name Ray, I think, reminds me of one of his characters. I think one of his characters is Ray, but I can't be sure.
Oh, and I should say that this game came from the fact that him and Arnold always created like the most. Well, Arnold always created like John Stockton would be his name or something like that. And it was just like, I'm American. I'm from New Hampshire. So, and then Stallone would just have these bizarre names that like he wanted to kind of sound tough. Arnold wants to sound like the everyman. Stallone wants to sound tough. All right, the answer, drum roll, is. No, that's Dennis Quaid playing a football coach.
You're right. Southern Illinois doesn't count. What the heck's the matter with you guys?
He does. I thought it was for sure Sylvester Stallone. He plays a guy named Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember which one it is, but
That's what I was
saying.
That's the one where he shows up and he goes,
Deborah!
Yeah, that's right.
all right. Okay, we're 0 for 1. Okay.
Dang.
The next one is De Silva.
Dang, dude.
That one's tough.
It sounds like a football nickname.
He did audition though for the Mighty Ducks too. I gotta do my triple D.
De Silva.
Get the fire back, triple D. I had the D.
That's not true.
He also auditioned for Keaton Thompson's character. It's just a podcast. It's too intense. Too intense for him.
I'm gonna go Sylvester Stallone because it's got that Italian-sounding last name. It's It's a alliteration.
That seems like a Brazilian one.
Yeah, that's Brazil.
Hey, De Silva. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but it's Sylvester Stallone movie, so he might have got it wrong.
Yeah, he might have got it.
I'm gonna go with
It's a hard name. Sly.
Slide out.
Sylvester
Suffering mediocre films.
Stallone. You have to go. Did you go?
I say Stallone.
You say Stallone. Deke. What would it? Deke. I think it's got to be Sylvester. They could be two college football coaches in a row that I don't know.
No, listen, the D me out.
Let's see. What is the answer?
All right, here we go.
This one's for you,
Hey!
I do not enjoy killing, but it's my job.
But I guess did he say?
What I do? I don't enjoy it. I do what I have to.
Yeah. Or he presses. Sometimes it's too long.
Ooh, motion at the front door. Are they delivering my mower?
I don't like it.
Nope, it's not very long.
My job. That was.
Enjoy this.
You're waiting for this to end.
See, he looks like an everyday guy. He looks like Wayne from Wayne's World.
It's like with a perfectly epilated beard.
Yes.
Yeah, it was nice and you never see Arnold like John Clement now with that kind of facial hair cap.
Arnold started going with gray facial hair for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Deke De Silva, and that's the character.
I think he's a pilot, so he's deacon.
Yeah.
Dude, what's the De Silva thing? It can't be the
I
Italian.
think it's an Italian thing.
De Silva?
We
Why
can
not
find
Silva
out.
is
Yeah.
Portuguese?
De Silva.
I don't know if Da Silva.
De Silva, Spanish. Da Silva. Sounds like Stallone made it up.
Maybe he was trying to call himself The Silva. And then he was like,
De Silva. No.
Most
Is it?
commonly Spanish and Portuguese.
Alright.
I'm saying, like,
all right, you can go.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe he's appropriating culture.
It could be. He has the right.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, how many more?
We got 3 more.
What?
Nine.
All right, let's go next one. Next one is
Next one.
Cleve Bryant. Cleve Bryant. Now this would seem like an Arnold name. My name is Cleve Bryant.
From Cleveland.
I'm from Cincinnati. People think I'm from Cleveland, but I'm from Cincinnati. He actually did do that in Conan the Barbarian. He actually went when he's being attacked by the werewolf.
Doesn't it total, no, not total recall.
got better than 2. He's only got 2. So you think this is... I can't breathe.
Okay.
He's right to motorboat already.
Which side?
So many bad choices. It's asymmetrical.
I stay college football.
I do too, Gerald.
I'm to college.
Okay, college
It sounds like a nickname.
And the answer?
Yeah.
Ready to explode.
Oh, that guy's on crack.
Yeah.
That guy's on crack. He's
You guys really dug deep here. You went back to the 70s.
They had to.
Universities.
They had to because you know them.
Yeah, that's true. You got too many coaches. That guy looked twitchy for sure. It was.
What's wrong, Cleve?
Get up punting, man. I told him I got a punt. They ain't punting shit.
It's second down, Cleve.
Shit.
They don't punt on second down, coach.
That's a Gatorade cooler filled with crack. All right. Next one.
That's one. Robert Rath.
Oh.
Again, alliteration.
I think that's slow.
I think it's still up.
Yeah.
Why?
I bet he calls himself Bob Rath.
Yeah.
It's Rath. The name is Rath.
Yeah. That's what you're gonna feel my wrath.
Yeah.
There's the
It's a setup for one line. You know what?
All right, I'm going Stallone. All right.
Let's
Just
do
Steve. Yeah, just Steve.
Geraldine and Gerald. I know. It's
That's
true.
not explain the word. You
We've
can't
all been
explain the
picking
word.
the answer, so we're all 1 and 0. Or are we 2? We're all 2 and 0. All right.
All right.
Of course. Oh, sorry. The last one I got double points. Champion. All right.
Right. Okay. Next one. Answers. Yeah. It was pretty nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's very dangerous meeting you, Miguel.
What was the other guy's name?
Miguel something. I was too busy listening to him.
Fun movie.
I wanted to see if the other guy had a dumb pun name.
Probably.
Antonio.
And I can't look at Julianne Moore the same ever since that movie Blindness. When you see her naked and covered in her own excrement and like broken glass crawling around, I can't.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's horrible.
No.
It's a film where everyone goes blind at the end of the world. So people who aren't used to being blind, everyone's blind, and they're like just crawling around in their own filth. Spoiler alert, pretty much everyone dies. It's not worth it.
That's like when Rihanna accidentally bathed in that sewer thing that was at the beach.
She did.
Yeah, it's like Brazil.
I know this story.
Yes, are you available for an
She was-
accident?
yeah,
It's coming from
like
Madison and
friends.
13th.
Lightning out of there.
Exits.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was like
It was a little night swim.
they should
Yeah.
bring her Ella.
I don't think so.
She should.
She got that little shipper and a silver. She got the brown tie. Hey, there it is.
Oh my word!
That was so quick. Thanks, guys.
Look, she's doing the sexy pose there too. She's like,
She's showing off her butt with
how
poop
many
on it.
shit?
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
This is for my India shoot.
I can make anything sexy.
Nothing on it.
I got the runs in this town tonight. All right.
Yeah, someone definitely fooled her into going there, and she was like, I love the way you lie. This is... Okay, too far. All right. Sorry.
When I stand up and keep burning. All right.
Last one. Steve Sloan. Come on. That's a hard one, actually.
That's a hard one. I'm 1 point ahead.
So close to his actual name, it can't be him, right?
Although it could be.
It's like, dude, this is hard.
This one's hard. Do you know it, Gerald? I don't know. But do
That
you know
means
it?
yes.
Relax.
I'm saying football coach.
Yeah.
I think it's too close.
Rumble.
Gerald's kind of, the kids would say sus right now.
Yeah, it's just.
Shut. And I think they're tricking. Who makes these? Devin? I think
She's so good.
I think she's tricking me and she's
Yeah.
nailing it. It's an alliteration.
I like Devin a lot, but I really don't like Devin. Like, I don't know how you develop this skill set of deception, and she's so good with it, where I just, like, I find myself waking up going, Devin.
I think it's a you. I think you like her. You just don't trust her.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's more of a, Devin! Yeah. Devin's You see skill sets manifest themselves. That's the word of the day. Here in this office, we're like, yeah, this would have been useful nowhere else. It's like she's so good. And she's so nice. And you're like, this can't be you.
That's a lot of work. She's.
I know. She does.
I say college football.
Okay. What do you say?
No,
I'll say college football coach.
Sylvester Stallone.
You know it?
Screw you.
Do you know it? Okay. Give us the answer.
I don't know what I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Yes.
Well,
That's Sylvester's dad, actually.
Yeah, exactly. You try to cast him. Oh, dude, you can play me. You got a name like me, and I'll do his bag, and then I can play you.
What? Vanderbilt. Come on. That's okay. That's the problem.
yes, that's the problem.
That's a real school. They have real football.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They have the first female kicker who kicked it like 20 yards.
Good for
And
her.
it was a heroic kick.
It was not.
The kick.
The video of the first female kicker whose only job is to kick the ball far.
The
The
kick.
video of it?
Yes.
Oh, please find that video.
Like
I think it's labeled. The kick that almost was heard around the world.
Yes, exactly.
Like, it was made out to be this huge deal, like, Vanderbilt has a starting kicker that's a woman. You know, it's like whatever that movie was, the supermodel was the kicker from the team. You remember that? No, well, maybe. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Unnecessary roughness.
Thank you, unnecessary roughness.
Impact employment.
Absolutely, and
I'm
they
just
were
gonna
like,
have
this is
to
the
help you.
biggest deal ever, and she goes to kick off. I swear to you, I can accidentally have one of my kids run on the field and kick the ball further
You were told to
than
call
she
back or
kicked it
text back?
on the kickoff.
Well, yeah, you've been practicing on Steven.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. I don't tell people this, so that's why. That's,
He is trying to kill. He is trying to kill.
okay, when was this?
This was the big build-up.
All right, let's do a beautiful brave kick.
Let's do it. This is historic moment, guys.
You didn't have, what do you mean, your ID and stuff? Okay, or social? Okay. You have that now?
I wish we had a mic in her helmet.
Okay. And which position was this for? All
I heard she's taking it.
right, let me see what our next one is.
If you wanted to go out there and kick, fine, but don't build it up as this. I mean, the build-up to this thing was massive. This historic moment, the first time ever for a woman to go out and play college. And I'm like, okay, maybe she can kick, because that's a thing. She can't.
No. It's not. Female kickers are not like the blacks in early sports.
Oh.
That it was untapped potential.
That's right, yeah. You're not like,
It's just like, no, there's a reason that we haven't included them.
oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, can you imagine on the Revenge of the Titans? If
No, it's Remember the Titans.
Yeah, let me write the info down. I was just checking to see if, yeah, Main Street, yes.
There's a blow away the white suit staying no mountain high.
Your name again?
the Revenge of the Titans is when the ladies come in,
Oh, yeah.
and then they really start winning.
T-O-I-N-E?
And Arnold was there. He's kind of like, the Titans are back.
Yep. Last four?
They got huge.
I'm sorry?
About each other through relations and this coming
6649? Okay, and contact number?
I was gonna say something else. I changed it. Yes, I got the name.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
All right, make sure you bring those documents with you when you come in. See you tomorrow at 1.
The champ did beat.
Whoa, hey.
Yep.
Well, no, I got the double points as the champ. You give double points to the champ. To be the champ, you have to beat the
So
champ.
previous champ gets double points.
Well, look, what do we do if it's a tie? It goes to the champ. There's no rematch.
Tie goes to the runner.
No, it does not.
Well, it's probably not me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm the champ, and so that's the thing. There's no rematch clause, by the way. England will be no rematch. Don't want one. This is bad. Still long for college coach.
I'm just glad they included Notre Dame's head coach. Appreciate it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, we have the video of Tom. Like, look, and by the way, I have a lot of respect. The guy is, and what I respect about Tom Platz is he talked openly about the steroid use. He was one of those guys. He never won the Mr. Olympia.
The user.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, he didn't win. I thought he did win.
No, he didn't win. No, he never won. And it was all a big part of it was political, and he didn't necessarily deserve to win. It wasn't like a Mike Pence situation where he was robbed, but he was open about his steroid use. And for bodybuilding, not for athletes, but bodybuilders, he offers decent advice, and he's out there still kind of making a positive impact. But this was him. He was known as the Quad Father. This is him training as and it's just like you just wonder if no one watched this when they were editing it before they released it and said, "Wait a second, maybe we should put it through revision."
Tom Flax workout or gay porn.
He wasn't. I mean, I know he had a lot of weight on him. The guy had massive legs, but it didn't look like he was doing much.
No, that was after he finished the set.
No, I know he was just doing like an extra.
He would finish the set, and he would do those partials just to try. And he only, unlike Arnold, he trained 2 hours a day, twice a day. He would train his legs twice a month.
What?
He said the way that he would train would be so intense. He's like, I had to recover. He's like, and if I train them more often, my legs would shrink. And a lot of people don't realize that. You don't grow or make any adaptations when you're training. Your body needs to heal and grow. And that's it's the same thing with life. You learn, you absorb it, you take some time to let it sit for a while. So yeah, a lot of those guys didn't train nearly as much as they said, even though they were on steroids. And people would go out, read the magazines, and but the thing is, back then it wasn't everywhere like with Instagram. It was on and you kind of knew they were trying to sell you shit because it's a magazine.
You gotta sell gym memberships, you gotta sell creatine, whey, whatever it is.
Yeah, that was a big thing. And there's actually a funny clip of Mike Mentzer talking about, I don't remember who he was talking about, but he said, you do not need to eat this much protein. Matter of fact, the protein quantity listed 1 gram per kilogram of body weight is sufficient. I am entirely convinced that they do not tell you that 70% of your muscle, 80% is in fact water. And that is more important for your muscle growth to maintain proper muscle hydration. However, these magazines have not figured out a way to ship water through the mail. This is pre-bottled water. And he was
somebody at Aquafina.
Yeah. I think it was Evian was the first one.
The most abundant resource on the planet could be salt.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's
This is
awesome.
a weird thing. My mom drank Evian.
Yeah.
And so growing up as a kid, I always just thought that Evian was like a lady water.
Yeah.
Dasani.
No, but Dasani tastes.
I hate Dasani. It tastes like it's Fiji. But,
Why is chat not keeping up? Sorry, Anna. Yeah, sorry.
I just drink. I just the only thing I know is that I like spring water as opposed to the other stuff is tap water. It's like ultra filtered, reverse spring water like Ozarka, whatever, stuff like
I
that.
didn't realize I was that
It's
far behind.
Fiji's just bottled.
Yeah, it's just nothing.
With,
I mean, they filter.
There's only one. It's
Right.
like I think it was like Coca-Cola. What is it? That's
Dasani.
No.
It's like
It's got salt in it. Aquafina. There it is.
Oh, that one's got salt in it too.
That one sucked.
Or was it in
I
whatever?
wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole if I was dying in the Sahara.
Jesus.
I'd rather drink sink water, which I do.
I'd rather drink the
We're talking
water.
about the water or the Asian actress?
Oh, it's the fan
Well, she is a marvelous.
with the blinds.
I disagree.
I can't buy it. What is it? Evian? It spells naive.
Remember when Evian
told me that? I was like, I'm out.
Remember when they sold an aerosol, maybe they still do an aerosol spray can of water, and they were like, this is the skin hydration complex.
I don't know why this isn't working.
It was just water. It was just water. It was a fine mist of water.
It's hilarious.
That was it.
You know, if you're dying in the heat, you're probably like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I should probably drink this. Just spray it over my skin so it can evaporate.
Go to a franchise with patio misters.
That can or what's it called? Expensive can.
Oh, Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
Yeah.
Liquid Death. I'm not drinking water. I'm drinking death.
I do like the liquid in the fizzy
It actually
water, though.
tastes pretty
pretty
good.
The fizzy water? Okay, well that's
Because it's mild. It's not.
You're
Super,
adding something to
it's
it.
not super fizzy.
But it looks like an energy drink can.
Well, that's what they did it because people were at shows and concerts and people who weren't drinking alcohol. They wanted something so they didn't feel left out.
I guess yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm being too harsh.
Remember, we had a friend who said it was their close friend who created and ran the company, and tried to get it in as a sponsor, and then wanted a commission. And I was like, wait, you don't know this person. It was a sales rep. It was like the Red Bull girls.
Yeah.
Showed up. I was like, hey, you want this? Yeah, I get it to a lot of those Crowder people, and maybe they'll do it as a sponsorship. And it was like 20%, please. All right, let's grab some chats. It's a fun show.
Dazzler the Brit says, how did you guys all meet? What are your origin stories?
I'm keen to know how Gerald met Steven and how they became such good and unlikely friends, and how Steven met Josh. But if everyone wants to give their story, I'm sure it'll be very interesting for us mug clubbers.
All right, well, I'll give you mine. I met Gerald at a birthday party.
Yes.
And
The person that
and we were surrounded by mostly people that I didn't like. And Gerald, just, you know, the truth is he's weird. And as I said with Johnny Boys, my best friend since I was 12, he's weird. He's just a little bit. I've always just kind of gravitated towards misfits. And so
There we go.
That evening we were a misfit. It was a woman's birthday.
We're back.
And it was
Chat's
pretty much
back.
all women, and you and I were maybe.
Not sure what happened.
You guys knew one other guy.
there might have been another guy.
Yeah. So we talked, and we hit it off, and we've just been friends ever since. And I realized he was a smart guy. He knew a lot, particularly I think early on, was the apologetics related to Islam. So you know, I stood a lot, had a lot to gain from Gerald. With Josh, it was actually just when I started doing stand-up again. You know, we were doing these, and Gable, of course, wanted me to do all big theaters. Love you, Gable. I was like, you know what, though? I decided what happened is I said, I'm going to scrap everything I've ever done and start new. So, you know, I had built up hours of material, and I said, but I want to go, so I'm going to go to a few comedy clubs so I can get some sets in. So as opposed to doing one show, same number of people, same tickets sold, so you know, still make it worth my while to go out, but do 6 shows in a smaller room and you get to work some stuff out. Josh actually was the booker for this, I guess, sort of group of clubs, franchise, or series of clubs, and just liked it. He would also, he opened, I thought it was funny, and that was it. I just thought it was funny.
I heard they're closing down a bunch of them. I don't think they're completely going out of business, but they are closing down a bunch of them.
They're like, hey, we need to find somebody. You're doing Spokane, Washington. Like,
Dude, those Cheddar Bay biscuits are the bomb, though.
and I didn't know much about it.
You can buy the mix at Costco, too.
They're not clean, and then they got
I make a great breakfast
conservative audience. And I was like,
biscuit with them.
clean, conservative.
Sausage gravy, bits of bacon in there.
You know, like just not like filthy. I don't request clean. Like just not like
Fried egg on top.
Snorting coke and orgies.
Right, but it was just hard to find like somebody who wasn't super liberal. They're usually like they're like the edgy comic.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like, okay, well, those guys aren't going to work, and then so I just was like, I'll do it. Yeah. And then we hit it off. We had some sex together in the green room. Now we're. No, we did. You did find cocaine in there.
I did find cocaine.
And then you go. I walk in. You go. There's cocaine in the armoire. Really? And I walk over and I open the middle. It's the middle. All the drawers.
It has like 16 drawers with all this candy, right?
And half of them are missing handles. Yeah. So I grabbed the middle one with a nice handle and I open it, and it's there. He goes, well, how'd you know where it was? And I go, oh, shit.
That's right. I was like, the right drawer. And then I was like, there's a combo.
Jesus.
Just so you know, this is not mine. This was using
It's okay.
Impact employment, home speaking, that's going to help you.
What? And then the next day I saw someone smoking.
Okay.
They refused to work when I showed up.
What do you mean the paperwork? You did the onboarding tasks?
Some employees came back by the end of it because it wasn't exactly what they expected. A lot of conservatives aren't necessarily.
They've had another. I'm not going to say any names. They had another.
Okay, just give me 1 second, okay? Let me try and get you pulled up.
And they had said some things that were. They're in jest, sure, but they just felt kind of violent.
Well, and I also think
or whatever at the end, like a Q&A or whatever.
Yeah.
And then said some things that there was a couple trans employees and they just that's what they were expecting.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't want to be here for it because I don't want to be triggered and my feelings hurt, so I'm just not going to get paid tonight. I'm not going to come work.
Hostile?
So,
yeah.
I mean, they heard from the
I keep missing your late night streams because it's 2-hour difference.
There was punchlines, there was jokes. He wasn't just.
Wish I could have seen that.
You know, you booked a lot of people.
I could see him doing it too.
The age of social media, of people who aren't necessarily comedians, and I know, look, I don't have enough time that they would like to get back on the road here this year, but probably not between now and election season. And maybe I'll just scrap all the material again. That's always one thing that I was like, I feel disconnected from it. But now you just have influencers who go, I can make money, like Stormy Daniels was appearing at 3 clubs, and they're not comedians, and that is an insult to people who at least hold the crowd.
What's worse than that is even worse than that. There's a guy. I'm not gonna working in the Dallas area soon. actually working a club, he got all these followers and likes on Instagram and TikTok and stuff from making stand-up videos in a studio.
Yeah.
He stands in front of a black curtain and he delivers really, really bad jokes and then adds a laugh track to it. And it has a really nice camera, a really nice setup, and he changes the background every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then he's got a tour schedule.
Right.
Go see it.
And they'll make money. That's like, to me, the kind of
Makes money off the views, the likes.
Yeah. Is someone providing you with any value? In other words, if someone posts a fake story that they just clipped, lied about soul with a sea turtle, keep going back to that.
I don't think there's any competition right now. Once we decide what the next, do you guys want to do another hat and coffee, or what do you want to do for the next point competition?
No.
Yeah, JC is killing it.
Maybe you could say entertainment, but the original story is more entertaining, and it's the original story. It's the same thing if someone shows up at a live performance, and it's not informative, insightful, or entertaining. And by that I mean originally entertaining. Then they're just taking money from you. And that's a big thing too. I will say this with a lot of comedians that always kind of bother me is sometimes I'd go, I always get nervous. Like I used to have horrible stage fright. I wouldn't be able to feel my legs before oral presentations in school. And same thing if ever when I would compete, I'd lose, like I'd be bandy-legged. So I guess I gravitated toward it because I was afraid of it. And I've seen a lot of other comedians like, oh, I don't get nervous, but they go out, and I've seen comedians go out drunk, slop, and just forget everything. And I go, man, those people, they probably got a sitter.
You know, you should be nervous.
Yeah, you'd be at least a little nervous.
It would help me.
Yeah. You need an immediately accessible bathroom in the green room, like myself. But do you remember in Oklahoma how sick I was? Remember I came out, I was sweating so much.
Leaning against the stage.
Yeah, I was like, man.
Vertigo or something?
No, that was, I had that, I realized that can be, my doctor said, triggered by flying. So it makes sense that, I was like, why is this always happening?
Okay, I apologize. I got logged out. I had to get logged back in to pull you up. See where we're at with you.
No, that was
You
the
still
one where I
there?
had like a crazy fever and I was stuck in Oklahoma for 2 days. I had to go to an IV because I either stomach bug or
What was your last four?
at least 20 times the next 12 hours. And I got off stage and I was like, man, my neck is
Say your name again.
And I remember just throwing my shirt down.
What?
Like I had just taken off the swimsuit, just plop. And then it turns out I had a fever and I was violently ill.
Yeah, your act isn't bitch head.
So you had done it before last year in August?
Yeah, I sweat.
Yeah, you work up there.
What happened then?
Yeah, some of them. It's like bursts. That's a cat.
Oh, awesome.
So anyway, no, that's how I met Josh. That's how I met Gerald. And, I don't know if everyone else is. That kind of covers. I think it kind of covers.
I met Gerald here.
That's true.
He
Yeah.
said, who the
That's
hell are
done.
you?
I met Josh here, and I was like,
Steven said, you have to hire him.
no, I liked you in third chair, and I know we have guests come through. We still do it like with Nick and Collins and guys, but we do it a little less frequently.
Okay.
When it's
Let me find out when the next orientation is going to be for that.
more consistent. Yeah, because we were really wanting to build the show around always having different people in third chair all the time.
Which is originally what it was, and then we would kind of, so.
You know, we got schedules and other things they're doing. Nick's got his own show. Brian's got his own. All those guys got their own shows.
Yeah, Brian has like 50 shows.
Yes. He's a worker.
He has a lot of shows. All right, let's grab another chat. Is there a news update there?
So one of the things that I saw this headline come up, so they pulled a clip of this, Michael Cullen obviously is being...
I think we're going to be good, because it looks like
Yeah, I think he's still going on right now. I know they took a break just a minute ago, but he just admitted, like this guy has no credibility left, but then he admitted to stealing from the Trump organization.
They were saying that this should have been the finals, because that's how good they are from the other conference.
They only gave him $20,000 and you took $30,000. Blanche.
Okay, we have one scheduled tomorrow at 11.
Right? Cohen says, yes, sir. Blanche comes on later on, he says,
Not scheduled yet, because right now with the walleye almost being done, it's just going to be the mud hens. So.
yes, sir. So again, that is breaking it out because essentially they walked through what it is.
Well, the best thing to do then is either call or, the absolute best thing to do is, I'm going to send you a text real quick. The number you're calling me from, is that the 5052? Okay. We have a text system that works a whole lot better than leaving messages and stuff, because honestly, the phone rings so much that sometimes we can't answer it when we're doing things, and it just isn't time to even check the messages. So I'm going to send you a quick text, and this is the best way to get in touch with us. because this comes right to our desktops
Trump organization.
and our
Are you
phones.
stupid?
Okay.
Yeah, I doubt that was the first time.
I've already done them, but I'm just gonna send you a little thing saying,
Might sound like nothing, but once you do it a few times, it's like,
yeah, whenever you do that, saying just with the address here. Okay.
Yes, but just focus in on Michael Cohen.
So text that. Text me tomorrow at that number,
This guy who has no credibility
and
whatsoever, who said things
I'll tell you when the
on
next
both
one is
sides.
scheduled for.
You cannot trust a single thing, and now
Okay.
that he's
You're welcome. Bye.
on top of it, or embezzling, I mean, I have no idea how often. He's a lawyer, for crying out loud. I get me lawyers aren't exempt from breaking the law, obviously, but it's like, what are we doing at this point? This is the star witness.
Yeah.
You know?
and to be fair, he didn't think that this trial would be happening, and he didn't have to be admitted to.
And that's,
I gotta tell you, it's backfiring. It's all backfiring. Have you seen the most recent polls? Trump up 5 in Arizona, up 10 in Florida, which by the way, Florida, Ohio are not supposed to be elections plus the mass illegal immigrants. In Arizona, he's up by 5. Each of these swing state polls just keeps coming in worse and worse.
oh my gosh, this is actually kind of funny in the very it's really funny. So it's an interesting follow-up to how people plan to vote based on where they get their news. Now this, let me just read this to you because I know, but newspapers, if you read a newspaper to get your news, which is like got to be 80-year-olds at this point, Biden's getting 70.
It was obviously we were trying to get on our
all
feet
the
last
older
week,
people
so
who still read
I think we
newspapers.
got a good flow going by the end of the week.
News networks, like the national news networks, Biden 55, Trump 35. Social media, Trump 46, Biden 42, and YouTube, Google, Trump 52, Biden 39. So it's like you can tell who the Biden voter really is.
Yeah.
You know?
And see, here's the thing, if you can dive in deep into the left and say, well, see, at least these are legitimate news sources, like the New York Times, the New York Post, and the Washington Post, who also push the Russia collusion hoax. But I bet you if you were to get into it, it would be because people who are on YouTube or those places that are watching shows like this, like Adam Peterson.
I don't even think I saw one go out to that.
I get it.
But yeah, for sure.
But that's why they absolutely throttle the shit. Imagine
Oy,
what the election would look
guys.
like if there wasn't mass censorship.
Guys, hey guys.
Imagine if we didn't see our
There was some serious
subscriber growth cut down to a fifth and apply that to any
title catchers over the
If
weekend.
people only knew the behind-the-scenes stuff on YouTube, so we've been very vocal about it, but you don't know half of what's been going on.
the details.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it is absolutely insane. This thing is allowed to be called some objective standard.
See you later, Anna. Love you.
With regard to YouTube, but one of the things, the Sunday shows still push that. They were, Marco Rubio was on Meet the Press, and I always watch this just to kind of see what people are talking
And
about.
he leaned into the election.
He did it much better than he has or anybody else has in a while. Like he actually wouldn't let, I can't remember the lady's name who runs it now, the host, but he wouldn't let her move on, and she was like, "No, we covered the Hunter Biden laptop."
Oh, from Pluto TV. Those are
Follow up. When?
it's free.
When did you cover it? Because I know you guys wouldn't cover
Watch
it
the fuck out of them.
when everybody was talking about it right before the election. And then
All
it
the
got
content
on
there is
social
like
media and every single platform. And
6
it
to 8 years
basically got you
old,
a
but-
strike and booted from the platform if you tried to repost something about it. Right. When did you cover it? Everybody can come and do the right thing after the fact. It takes true courage and actual journalists to do what is right in the moment and say, this is a news story, it is worthy of being covered, the consequences be damned. But he did a great job of pushing back, and I wish, go back and watch what he said and how he wouldn't let her off. She was not asking questions, she was making statements in the form of questions.
And she tried to say, will you accept the results of the election no matter what?
And he goes, no.
Yeah.
It's like, he goes, well, not if there's all kinds of stuff. And he goes,
By the way, just like the left questioned, legitimate election in 2016.
Hillary Clinton conceded the election, and he kept pushing. He kept pushing back. He's like, yeah, when? When did she do it? Not for a long time. And also, he should have said, and President Trump walked out of the White House or got on Marine One. What's the problem? He left office even after he thought the election was stolen. They have got to push back on these people because they don't have any answers, and they really are just making political statements. Right? They're trying to do gotchas. So, anyway, sorry, that was
I agree. And I wish more people were doing it back then. Same thing with conservative. Like, cowardice is a problem, period. I mean, it's assumed that the left are cowards in the media, right? They have to be left out. But it's really easy for conservatives who are saying, get the vaccine, you're an idiot if you don't, to come out now and say, okay, maybe I was wrong, but they still say you were all wrong. It's really easy for conservatives to come out now and say, we question election results because you two said you're allowed to because you're preparing for a big loss in the next election. But where were they? It's easy for them to come out now and say, hey, say COVID was a sham, but during the lockdowns they were broadcasting in their basement. I'm not saying some. The vast majority of conservative media, not some, the majority of them, and that not only it pissed me off, and it's something that forgive, but I will not forget, because hey, when push came to shove, and everyone had the ability to actually push back. Sometimes you say, well, what can we do? I get it. You can't necessarily change the country immediately, right? You vote, you maybe try and be an activist, but during COVID, there was a sequence of events where you could actively take a role and have an impact, a measurable impact, where you could go out and tell everyone, no, hold on a second, what's happening with this mRNA rollout, this is a problem. No, hold on a second, what's happening with ivermectin, which we now know, of course, vindication. No, you're wrong. Hold on a second, these lockdowns, this is absurd. No, we should not be doing this. Wait a second. Going into the election, mass mail-in voting, but unfortunately, you had a lot of people who were supposed to be leaders, and I mean most people, there are exceptions, but most people broadcasting from their basement saying it's 2 weeks to flatten the curve and telling you to get the mRNA injection and that the issue was settled with the election. That was most conservatives at that point. That pisses me off a whole lot more than Joy Reid with a new hair hat on MSNBC saying some stupid shit. All right, final chat.
All right, final chat from Puppy Shampoo. Have you guys ever considered doing a Snopes alternative? Maybe not a Mug Club branded platform, but at least some kind of spin-off from these fact check segments or change my mind topics.
We have. I can't say any more than that. Just grab a nice chat.
All right, I'm gonna get shit for this, but decent question answer.
Come on.
How can people with limited free time to follow multiple news sources stay equally informed? Read instead of watching, watch daily news recaps, check social media regardless of bias other.
Well,
we do something every.
Well, we do.
But
It's almost like there may be some other tools
a connected question
that we can't discuss right now. But I will tell you this, and I've said this in the past. Look, it's kind of like this goes back to we're talking about physical training. A lot of people didn't get into it because they thought, oh, it's a subculture if you have to train 2 hours a day, twice a day like Arnold. Because everyone thought bodybuilding is like Arnold, so a lot of people didn't do it. It's like I'll do that or I'll go for a jog, right? Whereas now you see a lot of people who have found out that strength training is good for everybody. Every single person on Earth, within the parameters of having basic physical abilities. Of course, if you're in a wheelchair, you need to adapt. Needs to be strength training. Any age, period. It is the fountain of youth. Okay, but a lot of people didn't because they thought the barrier to entry was something that was actually non-existent. The truth is, you could do 2 times a week, 3 times a week at around 30 minutes, and guess what? It'll keep your bones healthy. It'll keep you from suffering from all kinds of wasting. It'll actually keep your brain healthier as we look at neurodegenerative diseases. Everyone should 30 minutes, twice a week, 3 times a week, ideally, if you're not pushing really, really hard. Okay? Everyone can find that time. Let's apply that here. A lot of people say, I don't have time to look up all of this information. And I understand it. But those who want to be in the elite, they want you to feel overwhelmed. And I've said this in the past where people will sometimes accuse our segments of being reductive, which is kind of funny because we will do a 25-minute segment, fact checking, for example, Biden's speech at, I believe, Moorhead College.
If I mispronounced
Morehouse, that's right. I lived in Moore Park
was
for a while.
down the street.
Yes, exactly. I lived in Moore Park for a while outside of Simi Valley, so Morehouse, sorry, thanks. We will spend 25 minutes doing that, but some people say it's reductive because not everything can be a 2-hour seminar. But I don't take reductive as an insult. Taking something that is seemingly complicated and distilling it so that other people who are busy can understand it, to me, is a valuable skill set. Why? Because I know a lot of doctors. We know a lot of lawyers. We will be in a room with very, very smart lawyers. Joe and I will have this time. And they don't know what's going on in the news sometimes because they don't have time. Are they idiots? No. They're in the courtroom. They're working 65, 70-hour weeks. So I understand they want you to feel overwhelmed. Let me give you a really simple way to do this yourself, aside from this program. Set some tabs to your favorites, whatever it is that you use as far as a browser. Okay? Set Fox News.
Yeah, I think we see the kids
Set
from earlier.
set this show, then set whatever bullshit NPR podcast, or set some news sources, right? Go left wing, right wing, liberal, and conservative. Create 6 tabs. 6 tabs. Each one, because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as unbiased journalism. And just flip through them hard to know if you're being lied to. You'll figure it out pretty quickly. And you can do that, and you can get your news in 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day. You can get the news that you need to know. Now, of course, we also, you have BlogSpider.com. I will say Brodigan is actually here. He's my longest standing employee. Now, these articles are obviously very, they're funny. They're written to be funny. But it is the news. And this guy, he's amazing. This guy is probably one of the most politically plugged in people. He's one of those guys. It's like someone who's a tech guy who knows everything about it. He knows everything about it. I need to ask anybody about something going on in some kind of a local area. Brodigan, and he'll fill me in. So I do recommend the website. I do recommend the resources. But
Impact Employment Solutions, don't stick in, that can help you.
any of the programs we're watching, they don't provide references. I would start shutting it off.
Hello?
Start using that as the rate limiting factor. They disqualify. If they do not provide references, then they are not adding value, and you cannot. They could.
Have you worked with us before?
But you can't know.
Okay. A lot of times folks will be in our system and they don't realize it. Do you mind if I check real quick? Okay, so what's your name?
Guess what? You will be informed, and you will be able to determine
Corey? C-O-R-Y?
from the truth pretty quickly.
Gordon. Okay, Gordon.
Try and provide more to you and make this easier.
And the last name again?
The election season, we're working on some utilities here, but that is something you can start with. Every single person has 30 minutes, twice a week or 3 times a week, to keep your meat vehicle healthy. And everyone has
you're right.
10
Okay.
minutes a day.
So,
you know what? Maybe you don't hit it every day. Maybe 4
it's hard for me to
times
see. What number are you calling from?
kind of like with physical training, strength training is the base for every single person. 2 times a week, 30 minutes. Then you want to keep your heart healthy.
Okay, and that's a cell phone?
Do you like playing tennis? Do you
Okay.
walk the dog?
I'm going to send you a link
Right?
to do the,
tracker. If you're on 10,000 steps, you're going to be healthy. I'm not saying you're going to look like a Greek god, but you will be healthy and you will reap the benefits of basic physical.
Is this Joseph's
Same thing as
phone?
it applies to news. You take these 10 minutes every day, maybe 4 times a week, and then in between, stop reading
Okay.
fiction.
All right, well, I'm just going to send you a text saying with the website to
The whole series of Thomas Sowell books again.
link to do it. Once it's done, just text that same number back, okay? Let me know it's done, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Is it history?
All
Is
right.
it science? Is it politics? Is it?
Jordan Peterson's book right now.
Are you? Which one?
Learning a lot about lobsters.
Yes. Hey, by the way, I tell you about the SSRIs and lobsters. They don't tell you about the meth lobsters.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of lobster rape.
I know they had Circle K lobsters. That's what I like.
So there you go. Set a base of something pretty simple. Hey, let's say right now you go, I'm not informed on the news and I'm facing some health problems. Okay. Set your mind to it right now. Starting today. Or if you need to set a time next week, starting next Monday, I'm going to train intensely physical strength training, basic compound movements. That's going to be my base 2 times a week. Start with 2 times a week. Maybe Monday, Thursday. Okay, we're going to do that. That's 30 minutes twice a week. And I'm going to go through these news tabs. 4 tabs, 6 tabs, 10 minutes, 4 times a week. Go for a walk. Be active. Say, you know what? I'm going to read some nonfiction books. I'm going to learn something every day. Change that, and I guarantee you, give it 12 weeks. Give it 12 weeks, and tell me that you are not healthier, happier, and more informed. I have 0 doubt. Try it. Test me on this. And come back and let us know in chat. See you tomorrow.
Biden is out there, right? This is intentional. They're really struggling in this demographic, so they have to pound the table to create some energy to bring some of these voters back. Let's hear what he says.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder, democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy?
So George Floyd was illegally murdered, according to him. Legally, was it murder? Was it homicide? First degree, something like that? Okay, so, but we remember that case because we covered it here at length. We had arterial sclerosis, we had hypertension.
Yeah, the heists are like once every 4 minutes.
All sorts of drugs in his body, I think heroin, other drugs. He had COVID, he had a lot of problems. So they're still dragging the 2020 race baiting scam back into this year. So they're parlaying that. Remember that? Remember that one?
Black men are being killed in the street. What is democracy?
In your country.
Trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What?
Most of all, what does it mean? As you've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure.
Whoa! Whoa! Muted applause on that one. Like, that's kind of bad form. Joe, you're the president, bro. You're the one who's responsible for the current environment. So, are you blaming yourself for all of this problem? First of all, you're the president and you're going to also remember that you were senator for like 30 years before that. So all of this consequence is a direct result of it.
Don't gamble too much. Actually, if you're in for a second, I'm about to grant everybody who's in here some points for hell.
I'm laughing about it, like they're free labor. It was insane. So wild turn, pretty a dark speech here, and yeah, pretty concerning speech from the president, trying to really just pound that racism line over and over again. Here is another clip. This was from another speech. He was at the NAACP. Okay, so you see what they're doing. They're hitting the panic button, man. They're nervous. They're nervous.
Ban books in there. What in God's name is that about?
But we don't want to show sexual intercourse in genitals to 8-year-olds. That's part of the problem there.
Not only that,
Called pornography.
race, black history, literally. They're wrong. They don't understand. Black history is American history.
Okay, so he is really pulling on that thread, isn't he? Whew. So there was a big shift on this over the weekend. Now, Joe Biden is pretty much gone. Bonnie shared this over on our X community, and this was a wild thing here. It's like almost 2 different people. So this is when he's speaking. He looks, I guess it's probably the same person, but does he just crack out on all sorts of other drugs here? All right, so here's this one. Weird stuff. What are they going to do for the debate? Are they going to pump him up full of all this?
First picture day star. I heard the thing on Wednesday. Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debates. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. First picture day star. I heard the thing on Wednesday. Can't be first picture.
All right,
Midwest, what up?
Almost 2 different people.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop.
And then he's all jacked up with his 13 cuts over there, or his 5 cuts in his 13-second video, whatever that was. So, all right, that's the president, and you can see not a lot of
Trying to see
there excited for this. So almost no
why it's not
graduates
popping up
stood
for
up
Jared.
when Joe Biden was introduced.
Come in.
So Joe Biden gets introduced. Look at all these people sitting down. Is that when he came out?
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you, President.
Yeah, so all these people just kind of stay seated, huh?
Thomas, faculty, staff, alumni, special thanks. And ask all folks who helped you get here, your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, all of those who got you here.
That's pretty crazy, man. He's speaking, and this is empty. Like, honestly, look at all these empty seats. Nobody cares. Even at a graduation, they're like overflow seats, and there's like nobody there. Nobody cares. Look at that, empty rows, and nobody's even standing up. It's crazy, man. We're being gaslit on support for this guy. So here is Nancy Mace. She was out, and a lot of people are saying this dude's just a bona fide racist, which is obviously absolutely true. And he was.
No, I'm good with them leaving him in.
Putting black people in prison as a result of his policies and as a result of black penitentiary. So they knew what they were doing when they were passing their 1994 crime bill and other things. They knew our communities would be impacted most. Now, 30 years later, he comes back out and he's trying to have the other side of that. It's not appropriate. So here's Nancy Mace calling him a racist as what he is.
If it weren't for South Carolina, and particularly South Carolina 6th District Congressman James Clyburn, Joe Biden very well might not be in the White House right now, because it was Clyburn who threw his support to the now president back in 4 years ago, and that helped propel his campaign against Bernie Sanders and others into the White House. Well, now we have a graphic that shows how black support has fallen for the sitting president. In October of 2020, he enjoyed 79% among black voters, 79% support. Now it's down to 72%.
And,
so that is the president.
That's good, but we want some more numbers. I mean, we want to see some bigger distance on this, right? So we want to, welcome some more of our brothers and sisters over on the side of the aisle. So that's good numbers. It's a good trend, but we got some more work
For them to do things like speak at Morehouse College graduation. How much trouble is the president in among black voters in South Carolina and, frankly, the whole country?
Well, I think he's in significant trouble. If you look at the polls in swing states, he's down in all but one to Donald Trump. He needs as many voters and as much support as he can. But the problem is he hasn't done what he said he was going to do for black and brown African American communities and convince these voters. But I look at Joe Biden, and he's a lifelong racist. He's a guy who didn't want his children raised in a racist jungle, according to him. He told black voters just a few years ago, "You ain't black," according to him, and he didn't vote for him. And that kind of divisive language isn't the kind of thing that wins black, I think, hearts and minds are saying that today. And he's been a very divisive president. He hasn't made good on his promises in anything with regards to inflation, with the border, to jobs. Everybody is worse, including black voters and women, under Joe Biden than they were under Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's polling, I mean, he's got more significant support among black voters than any Republican that I can think of in recent history who's run for president. And you're seeing some of those voters say, "Hey, we're not going to vote Democrat now."
I think this is great tactic. They should be calling him a racist every day. He's got a long history of that. They've got that picture of him with Robert Byrd. Remember Robert Byrd's? Robert Byrd was a former senator and a KKK like brand was literally in the KKK was a senator. And Joe Biden, I think, gave a eulogy. So whether Joe Biden's a racist or not, I think he is. But they should be just hammering him on that every single day. Joe Biden's a racist. Did you know if he gave a eulogy to Robert Byrd? Let's see that. I think it was Joe Biden. Let's just confirm that. Eulogy Robert Byrd. Something like that. Yeah, he does. Yeah, here he eulogizes him right here. There's a video of it. There's a video. It's on C-SPAN. Okay, so check this out. Why are the Republicans not playing this 24/7 all the time? Here's Robert Byrd, Joe Biden, and he's literally eulogizing this dude. Senator Robert Byrd, Democrat, West Virginia, of course, he's a Democrat. And, I don't know the full story on this dude, but yeah, so he was part of the KKK. He first entered Byrd's political career, the guy that Joe Biden is eulogizing here, he first entered the political arena by organizing and leading a local chapter of the Ku Klux Klan in the 1940s. He says, "The greatest mistake I ever made." He then served in the West Virginia House and other things. Well, it doesn't matter. Too bad. It doesn't matter too bad. This is how politics works. You just get obliterated for any bad association whatsoever. So here's Joe Biden eulogizing a KKK guy. Golly. All right, so served as the president pro tem. They should be blasting that all over the place. He is a racist. So we also have some more stuff poking around. You guys saw this situation with Iran over the weekend. A little precarious, so we'll poke around over there. And let's see what this Victoria Nuland is up to. Remember her? She was the one who basically wrecked United States foreign policy, got us into Ukraine and other things. And there was also that exchange with this woman where she was talking about Rubio. It's like, can you tell me about the biolabs or something? Can you tell me about labs? She's like, oh yeah, we got biolabs. Pretty serious business going on. And Rubio's like, no, cut it. Wasn't intending to jump into that. So apparently she's coming back out like Tracy Clinton in this thing, saying that she's demanding that we start hitting inside Russia. This is Victoria Nuland, who is a warmonger.
It used to be Ohio Link was the one
And
that
we'll see what's going on with Iran before we turn our attention to the Trump trial today. Let's see what's happening over there. But they brought her out, Victoria Nuland, the State Department, former top State Department leader.
They need to be able to stop these Russian attacks that are coming from bases inside Russia. So I think there's also a question of whether we, the United States and our allies, ought to give them
Right. Tomorrow I'm actually going to use
hitting
StreamYard
Russian bases, which
from
heretofore
my
has not been willing to
desktop
do.
again.
I think
This year.
if the attacks are coming directly from over the line in Russia, that those bases ought to be fair game, whether they are where missiles are being launched from or where
Sounds
their,
good, Anna.
Troops are being supplied from. I think it's time for that because Russia has.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
War is what she wants to talk about. Full-blown war with Russia. Go attack Russian bases. It's World War III. She's literally talking about World War III. We should go do it. Enough already.
This war, including, as you said at the beginning, attacking Russia's second city, Kharkiv, which is not on the front lines, and trying to decimate it without ever having to put a boot on the ground. So I think it is time to give the Ukrainians more help hitting these bases inside Russia.
While they have nukes, lunatic.
One of the reasons that the administration has hesitated is because they believe it will escalate things even further with Russia pull the U.S. further in.
Thanks, ABC. Genius.
So why do you think that's a good idea?
Because we want that, obviously.
Because it's Russia that has escalated this war. Russia has learned how to pull its forces back out of the range where we have allowed Ukraine to use our weapons and get our support. So they're getting a direct advantage in this war from our hesitation, and they have escalated massively. As you know, they have flattened a third of Kharkiv without ever having to get on the ground there. So it is time to stop that and help Ukraine push them back.
Okay, so this person is just an absolute maniac. Wants to get us into a full-blown World War III. And I was trying to find this other clip she was speaking. Yeah, here it is, this other post. So this is wild. The whole country is changing right around us in real time. But the State Department also dropped this one out. Put this morning. The State Department came out and said, here, look at today, Department of State, 7:30 a.m. Oh, it was yesterday, May 19th. 1.5 million views. Check this one out. They say, Congress has given us the power to seize Russian assets in the U.S. and we intend to use it. We're working with the G7 partners to see that Russia's mobilized sovereign assets are used to remedy the damage it continues to cause in Ukraine. It's the most insane situation. What could destroy, Russia must pay to rebuild. So our thieving government, and it's just basically like
Sounds good.
it has no
In poker.
in property rights or no belief in property rights at all, which is a devastating consequence for all of us because if they don't believe in property rights generally, then maybe that gives other countries the excuse to also not consider property rights. For example, what if Russia decides, or China, or any other country decides that everything that belongs to America now belongs to us, just like we're doing in the U.S. We say, TikTok is now ours now. We say that your yachts are now ours now. Even if these are just regular people with no involvement in the war. It's madness. So they're taking it. It feels like we're on the glide path to World War III. And you look back at these moments when this stuff happens. I know they were talking about this a long time ago, but they're actually going to start seizing properties, ours now. Okay, I guess that's the new world. Why would anybody hold their currency or invest in the U.S. dollar or invest in America from around the world if your government can just take it? It's insane. So it's the new way things are working now. Our government is just a criminal organization just stealing property from other people. And so we've got that. Let's take a look at what's happening with this Iran situation. So you saw this. Iran has a crisis right now. Over the weekend, we got the latest update. 34 seconds ago, there was a crash of a helicopter in, I believe, Iran. Here's the story. Israel insists it wasn't us. After the butcher of Tehran, they called her, the Iranian president is killed in some mysterious helicopter crash. A month after ordering a missile attack on the Jewish state, Israel's like, no. There's fog out there in the sky. Israel officials have declared they had nothing to do with the devastating helicopter crash that killed the Iranian
It's a hard landing.
Abraham 63
What I
confirmed
heard.
dead. The president. Big deal. Along with their foreign minister, governor of Eastern Azerbaijan, and others. Wild. So why were they all traveling together in the first place? 2 pilots, 3 other Iranian officials, security guards also died. Drone footage from the news agencies revealed the helicopter had smashed apart on landing, while clips shared by the Iranian Red Crescent showed solemn rescuers carrying corpses on covered stretchers outside of the forest. Woo. The incident sparked a wave of speculation as to the cause of the crash, with many theorists pointing the finger at Israel. Yeah, and of course, it seems like that's the obvious scapegoat, right? So clearly, kind of in conflicts, it kind of makes sense. It's an obvious race right there, so this explanation is probably most likely. But airplanes do crash, right? Helicopters do crash. We saw what happened to Kobe, although Kobe was not a head of state, right? So you presume that these things don't have technical crash errors or bad pilots, right? The best pilots in the world. The nation is at war with Iran. Tensions boiled over, though Israel has not released an official statement. Officials who requested anonymity batted away accusations that Tel Aviv was behind the crash, telling Reuters it wasn't us. Iran has yet to provide any details. It could be a total accident, right? Nor has it offered an explanation besides a simple explanation on poor weather conditions.
Hey, Eggsy.
But Iranian aircraft, particularly the Western-supplied models carrying grease, are notoriously unsafe, okay? And in a state of disrepair because there are sanctions. And that also makes sense. Planes crash, happens. Helicopters especially. Says it is not known whether...
We'll go back to the desktop, not just the mobile, but we'll do regular desktop stream tomorrow. It looks like it's going to work. Even with the shitty internet here.
Definitely dead.
It's working with Rumble and...
that's the guy apparently. So
that's
the situation over there.
Rumble and Facebook. So.
There could be some complexities around this. And the big issue is about secession and who's now in charge since the president's dead. International reaction to the crash puts a spotlight on the Middle East tensions and how people are reacting. After news broke, countries like Russia, Iraq, Qatar, they made formal statements of concern about his fate, offered to assist in the search. Saudi Arabia, traditionally a rival of Iran, said it stands by Iran in these difficult situations. There's no immediate official reaction from Israel. Last month, following an Israeli strike on an Iranian consulate building, Tehran launched hundreds of missiles. The expert says Iran faced a shortage of aircraft parts, and that's all it was. They just didn't have good equipment. And so what's going to happen next? Raisi was seen as a protege to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and a potential successor. Now, under the Iranian constitution, if the president dies, the country's first vice president, in this case, is a guy called Mohammed Mokhtar, will become president. He's publicly assured
get some sleep, Midwest.
disruptions to the operation of the country as a result of the crash. Death of the top official could reverberate across the Middle East. Tensions have never been higher as they were last month. Israel, with the help of the U.S., French, Jordan, and others, intercepted all the projectiles being developed. The ongoing war between these two is a combustible mix, and so Iran is going to hold a day of mourning. Looks like Putin called and spoke with the new vice president and the president. And interesting scenes. You know, we see the death of leaders often trigger really big global conflicts, like we saw in World War I with the assassination of the Archduke. We've got photos from the site of the Iran helicopter crash. We see some of the photos.
Burger.
So not good. Not a good situation over there.
Just over burger.
MSNBC is what they're talking about.
So we've already heard quite a bit of reaction from Hezbollah, from other groups. They are not at this stage blaming Israel, blaming the United States. They're expressing their condolences. And going back to the issue that you were just talking about, the future of Iran, what this means for the supreme leader. They're praising the supreme leader. They're praising the theocracy. They're saying our
Impact employment, that's we can help you.
we express our condolences for the loss of this man, but our loyalty remains
Hello.
to the system.
Impact employment. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's what this death really...
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Iran has a succession crisis right now because it's not that he was openly tapped to become the next supreme leader, but that's the way things were heading. There were only two names that were ever mentioned. Raisi, the president, as the potential next supreme leader. The supreme leader himself is about 85 years old right now. profound moment. The other name that was ever mentioned is Mustafa, the son of the supreme leader. Now, the fact that Raisi died in a helicopter crash in fog, at this stage, just evidence or really any accusations that there was that foul play was a factor more than foul weather. But still, if the supreme leader now tries to appoint his son,
Hawaiian Moses.
after the previous president,
I don't think I've ever had Jersey Mike's. It sounds good. I don't think I've ever had it. We got one close here too.
So I think there was a succession crisis, and I think it has a potentially an opportunity for the security establishment there, the Revolutionary Guard, to assert more and more control. Potentially, this is a moment like Boris Yeltsin, Putin, where you have Boris Yeltsin, who was no longer able to sort of rule the country, and someone from an unknown, non-charismatic apparatchik from the security establishment intelligence service rises up and takes over.
Road noise here though.
That could be. We'll see if we head in that direction.
Yeah, interesting report. I don't know if it was just an accident or whatever, but I have
The
a lot of
beach.
skepticism when this stuff happened. I mean, they told us that the Nord Stream pipeline was the Russians, right? Like, and it clearly wasn't. It was the other side, whatever you want to call it. So it was not the Russians who did that. So I'm always skeptical. Anytime anything happens, it's probably the opposite of what they tell us. So if they say this was an accident, we'll see. All right, so as I was speaking, I was thinking about this, the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, one of the key events that led to World War I. Yeah, and so you have the death of a leader. The assassination team and the members were a clandestine network. All 6 assassins were under 20 at the time. Took him out, and then boom, everything turned into a powder keg. So we can see how that can happen here. All right, so let's do a refresh, my friends. Let's see what you say about all this. It's a beautiful morning, and then we'll jump into some of this Trump trial stuff because that is underway as we speak. Michael Cohen is back on the stand, of course. We're going to get to the whole thing on the show later today, but it is going to be a doozy. Oh, and a reminder. Okay, so tomorrow we are not going to have a regular members-only morning stream because your boy is going to be speaking at the Get Trump conference tomorrow. So here's the schedule for tomorrow. So if you want to join us, we'd love to have you. And this is the link. I put it in the comments over on Locals. But the conference is tomorrow, May 21st. It's a virtual conference. Your boy has been asked to speak. I'm pretty excited about that. Look at these images. That's pretty funny. So here's one from E.G. Carroll, so Trump's a pinata. Judge Arthur Engeron, Reid Hoffman, all these demented lefty whack jobs, all just hit Trump like he's a pinata. So we're going to be there tomorrow. Your boy is speaking at 10 a.m. Pacific, so that'll be 1 p.m. Eastern. So come and join us. So it'll be at 10 a.m. and I'll be getting prepped for that, and I got to be on a little early, so we won't have time for our morning stream. But come join us, and then I'll see you there. Robert Barnes is speaking after me. John Eastman is speaking at 11:45. We got some good names on the house, so it's going to be fun. So I'm going to get prepped up for that, and then we'll come and do that. So we'll see you over there tomorrow, hopefully. And I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting out, kind of speaking a little bit more, sharing some of these ideas. It's going to be fun because we got a country to save. Dang it, we got to wake up some more people. So that'll be the plan, and hopefully you come and join us. I put the link down in the description over there. Yeah, it's going to be a great
doesn't
lifestyle.
stop, man.
In good company, for sure. Eastman made bail. I think he's out. Yeah, I think he's out. Hey, what's going on? Okay, we had some great comments. And what's up to our YouTube friends in the house? We got this one from Crash. Says, Rob, for the feds in the chat or for Hillary, for that matter, the following is strictly metaphorical and observational. Very good. We like observations. The short video is an aphorism. It says, I hesitated, considered euphemism, which is a milder indirect word substituted for one considered to be too harsh or blunt, referring to something unpleasant or embarrassing, but settled on aphorism, which is a pithy observation that contains a general truth. Man, that is such a great comment. I never thought about the difference between a euphemism and an aphorism. I don't even use aphorism. A pithy observation that contains a general truth. Interesting. Okay, and so euphemism. Euphemism, I do say that a lot. Anyways, the first debate will be a knockout blow to Joe. Wait for it. All right, let's see what this video says. It's on the YouTubes. And let me just give it a quick glance over here. Should be good. Let's see what this looks like. All right. So here is the video. All right, so Mr. President. Woo! Oh! Got him. Got him. Hopefully he's okay. 4, Donald Trump, head in 1. Hitting the president, head in 1. We don't condone any, of course, violence to the president. We don't want to be hit in the head with a golf ball at the end of it. We don't want to do that. But it's a funny political meme at all. Relax, feds. Relax, FBI. Deanne is here. What's up? Good morning to all. Good morning, Deanne. Good morning to all. What's up? It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful Monday. We love the fresh movements. Love the fresh movements. Snow. It's great. Hey, Retread. What's up? Good morning to you. And we got 51Ks out of here. Later, 51K. Have a great day. Hey, here's one from Bonnie. Cohen gets worse and worse. Wow. Okay, so an update from CNN. We're going to get over here in a second. But it says Michael Cohen, Trump's former personal lawyer, testified that it wasn't good. What I saw today was pretty bad. Cohen stole from the Trump organization.
Doc visits.
Cohen was paid $420 grand by Trump over the course of 2017 bank records show. According to Snow Cohen and several handwritten notes, the money broke down to $130,000 to reimburse him for the payment to Stormy, $50,000 to reimburse him for an unrelated tech services to a company called Redfinch, $180,000 to account for estimated taxes, and a $60,000 bonus. However, Cohen testified on Monday that he only paid back Redfinch $20 grand in cash in a brown paper bag, and he kept the rest for himself. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Blanche says, so you stole from the Trump organization? Yes, sir, says Michael Cohen. Oh my gosh. He said he was told the DA's office, he told the DA's office about the theft, but did not face criminal charges. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So Alvin Bragg has a literal criminal who actually admitted to a crime, and they're using him as a witness, and he just got called out on it in trial. This judge, man, he's not going to do it, but this judge should absolutely grant a motion for a directed verdict. We talked about that last week. Or a judgment for acquittal, whatever you want to call it. But it's at the end of the conclusion of the case, once the government has recognized that they have not met the elements of the offense, or there's questions, there's reasonable doubt about one of the elements, the judge can call it.
Impact employment norms, but
Michael
help
Cohen
you.
is clearly that. He's the only person who talks about Trump's intentionality at all. And the dude stole from him, which is what we were thinking in the first place. The whole thing was a scam. Wow. Unreal. Just shocking, honestly. Unbelievable. Bonnie, thanks for flagging that. It's going to be a wild day today.
Okay,
All right.
well, there's two different job orders. We have one order for the residents,
So
one
here
order for
is the
law.
latest. So Michael Cohen was walking out today. They were trying to get him, take
It's going to take a minute to pull up that information.
Okay, come on, Liar. Come on out. There you go. Come on out. About to
Okay,
go
this number right here. Okay, I might just send you a text with it printed out, okay? Is that be good? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so that was Cohen making his way over there. We got some updates. The Trump defense cross-examines Michael Cohen in that hush money trial. Prosecutor Susan Hoffman
Yes, I don't know.
is now, okay, so now Hoffman is back up for redirect.
Usually by 1 o'clock.
Todd Blanche. Court has taken a short break. Oh, that's right. The defense is expected to continue to question Cohen after they receive us apparently on the stand. Susan Hoffinger will probably get into the redirect today. Earlier, Cohen admitted to stealing from Trump. He was grilled about his financial interest in the trial. They hammered his credibility, expected to be the last witness. The defense would call witnesses, but it has to be determined whether Trump's going to testify. He is not going to testify. State prosecutors aim to use Cohen's testimony to tie together their allegations that Trump broke the law by falsifying business records to reimburse Cohen. Trump, who is in court, has pleaded not guilty. Cohen confirms there's a TV show about his life. Says he's not pitching it. Yeah, there is a TV show, but I'm not pitching it. That's the Fixer one that we saw. Blanche asked whether Cohen would expect to make money if the TV show is picked up. Has it been picked up? Cohen says it's not been picked up. Nobody thinks I'm a fixer or anything. Cohen says he's made about $4.4 million. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's like $1 million a year. 4.4 million since 2020. Over $1 million a year. I'm telling you, man, that anti-Trump money is good money. Those people are crazy and they have so much money. They'll buy your stupid book for anything. It's weird. Michael Cohen says the fall of 2020 has made about $4.4 million. That's a lot, right? If he stops from speaking out against Trump, it all goes away. If he tells the truth, he's done. There's nothing different. That money's gone. He earned about $3.4 million from the 2 books to which he previously testified. So this dude is getting like $10 million from his anti-Trump grift. $3.4 million from the 2 books and $4.4 million from podcasts. It's crazy. It's like a whole industry. This anti-Trump industry is crazy. Cohen confirms he stopped making money after he pleaded guilty. Not really. He said since 2020 he got $4 million. Did you stop making money when you pled guilty? Yes, referring to the time he was Trump's attorney. This dude's terrible. Cohen says, yeah, I stopped making money. Blanche asked if that was most of the money he's ever made in the 18-month period. Is that the most amount of money you've ever made? No. There was a time I made more than $5 million in a similar timeline. So in between the time you pled guilty and the time you wrote your book, Blanche asked if Cohen didn't have any income. Is that right? Yeah. Show him another email. This case is just, it's such a rigged hack job. It makes my blood boil. Cohen is asked about a series of emails between him and Costello. Defense attorney Blanche is walking Cohen through a series of emails. Here's one, an email from Costello to Cohen. Yeah, so maybe they're not going to need to call Costello because he'll just send the defense his manila file with all the Cohen stuff in there. He's like, here's everything you need to know about Michael Cohen. Here's all the other side of the emails. Go wild. So they brought this email. The answer about why they haven't brought an action challenging Robert Mueller. Costello says his investigation and the Michael Cohen referral investigation are based upon the findings of the Horowitz report. Costello says, I just saw your tweet and then the outrageous response from Tom Arnold. You should buy that guy's credibility with his own text messages. How dare he say 2 lines redacted? Are these consistent with your interactions? He says, yeah, they're all. Defense focuses on YouTube videos. Blanche turns to the YouTube video that Bob Costello shared with Michael Cohen, which prosecutors focused on last week. Blanche turned to another email. Email from Cohen to Costello. Cohen says, since we are sharing this morning, they are again on a bad path. Blanche follows up and asks Cohen in court, we were talking about President Trump and his team trying to discredit you, right? All right, so we'll come back on this, and of course we'll read through the full thing, courtesy of Intercity Press.
Plus 100.
But I got some more clips about Trump. So he was out over the weekend, and he was calling Joe Biden, saying this guy's just a real piece of
He's all about disinformation. Pilots come in, he said, I used to fly a plane. Truckers come in, I used to drive a truck. People come in from Minnesota, I used to live in Minnesota. Right? He is so full of shit, this guy.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah, we like to eat. And generally you don't have leftovers, you're right.
Man, let's get applause.
You see my fat ass eat too.
I thought he was going to say something else, but no, people are just cheering for him. So I had that one. I had another one here.
What did you, Anna?
Oh, his podium was about to fall over. Did you see that? So the podium fell over. And he just kind of goes on a riff here. Colin Rugg clipped this for us, and here's what that scene looked like.
But Americans are not struggling. You know, this is the worst platform. Who put this stage up there? This is the worst. The freaking place is falling down.
Joe Biden's
tilting further left. Like too many other things. What a crappy contractor this was. He's all about disinformation. Pilots come in, he said, I used to fly a plane.
Okay, we got that part. Yeah, we got that part. So, pretty funny. Trump, Biden, I don't think would have survived that fall. I think he would have had a difficult time with that. So, interesting stuff. Now, here was another clip as we think about the trial. Here's what the media is saying. They're saying that Trump is not going to testify.
Don't waste that much shit.
And if he knew what was good for America, then he would have the honor and the courage to just come right out and tell us all what is on his mind. And you go, come on, guys. We have, that little thing called the Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent, because anything that you say can and will be used against you, and it will be manipulated and twisted by hack prosecutors like Alvin Bragg. So they write this story from the Telegraph, a lot of headlines like this. Donald Trump's lawyer is fighting to stop him from testifying. He doesn't need to testify. There is no reason for him to testify. There's no evidence that needs to be brought out from him. Their evidence is failure on its face. It's facially incomplete. So, defense lawyer 1 plaudits for his aggressive handling of Michael Cohen, but now Todd Blanche has a bigger battle. Trump hasn't decided whether he's going to testify or not, but they think that lawyers will be working feverishly to try to stop that from happening. Trump said, yeah, I'll testify, if necessary, and then he probably would do so. Lanny Davis was making the same point yesterday. Well, if Trump wants to tell the truth to America, he should just get on the stand and do it. And they want him to fail, obviously. Former New York prosecutor agreed that Mr. Trump was an uncontrollable client, whatever. Say it's easy for Trump's message. Mr. Blanche risked destroying the career he upended for Mr. Trump if the former president is convicted. I think he's doing a great job in the lion's den. Last year, he left the job at Manhattan's oldest legal law firm to represent him, taking on his second ever defense case as a criminal lawyer. Wow. He also abandoned the Democrat Party to join Republicans. Man, shout out to Todd Blanche. Welcome aboard, Todd. But on Thursday, he proved his naysayer wrong, transforming from a soft-spoken lawyer to Mr. Trump's attack dog. Cohen claimed he phoned Mr. Trump and his bodyguard. However, Blanche noted that no, you were talking about a 14-year-old, like a baby. This was what the 96-second call was about. People say, man, he was just as aggressive, just as determined to win. So, good stuff over there. And there was, Michael Cohen's going to finish testifying today. There was this story. And is he going to testify? Questions are flying about whether Trump's going to testify. Todd Blanche said that's another decision that we need to think through. We haven't decided yet. Oh, and my understanding is, by the way, a little timing change. We thought that there were going to be closing arguments tomorrow, but it's not going to be this Tuesday, it's next Tuesday. So closing arguments will be next Tuesday. Apparently that came out this morning. So other than the witnesses, Trump said that their case in chief would only include a few potential witnesses, maybe. Chiefly among them would be an expert who would testify about campaign finance law. But the judge has limited that testimony. The defense has not made a decision whether they're going to call Bradley Smith, former commissioner to the FEC. The judge basically said he can't talk about a bunch of stuff, so what's the point in calling him? Prior to trial, here you go, the judge granted the prosecutor's request to limit the scope of his testimony. And the defense, before leaving court for the week, asked for further rulings to inform their decision. So, what's the point? If he can't talk about his opinion on whether there's a federal...
AD Shiitake?
What's the point? If they call Smith, prosecutors have indicated they would call a response expert. If the defense does not call their expert or...
Yeah, except for the ones that I do, I cook them in butter and garlic. So.
By the end of the day today. I don't know. I don't want to make any commitments about the day on Monday, but it's certainly reasonable to believe that if aside from Smith, the witnesses will be able to get on and off on Monday. I don't know. I mean, how long is the redirect going to be of Michael Cohen? That would spark a rapid end to the trial, with the possibility of the jury being handed the case before heading out for the Memorial Day weekend. It'll be a short week, however. Trial will not convene Wednesday or Friday due to juror conflicts. So today, tomorrow, Thursday. Then Trump's fate will be in the hands of 12 jurors. Ooh, it's going to get juicy, my friends. So here, let's see what else. We got some other clips here. We got Marco Rubio, who got into this with this woman, Kristen Welker, and asking the Republicans, as usual, are you going to accept the result of the outcome of the election? Of course not.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? Yeah. No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
What is Senator? No matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one.
No Democrat has refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her and that Trump was illegitimate. Kamala Harris agreed. We have Democrats now.
Senator, she concedes the election.
She said a sentence and that's it.
She said that Trump was illegitimate. She said that the election had been stolen. Kamala Harris agreed. By the way, there are Democrats serving in Congress today who in 2004 voted not to certify the Ohio electors because they said those machines had been tampered with. And you have Democrats now saying they won't certify 2024 because Trump is an insurrectionist and ineligible to hold office. So you need to ask them. I think I've never asked the Democrat this question on your show. I bet you've never asked the Democrat that question.
Senator.
Nice job, Marco. Finally, someone goes on the offense on that question. I hate that so much when the Republicans like, well, okay. Hey, if they steal the election again, first of all, I would say I've got questions about the integrity of the election right now, Kristen. We got 4 open political prosecutions happening in this country. So no, I do not think this is a free and fair election as it stands right now. So I'm going to have questions about the election regardless. And I like his answer. I get so tired when they just roll over on that one. We'll have to wait and see or whatever. The Democrats are the ones who rig the elections. They steal elections. They're the ones who complain when they lose and they can't steal them. It's nonsense. So, all right, here's Representative Byron Donald in the House. He was out also over the weekend on the Sunday shows talking about the debates. So Trump said that he wanted to make sure that Biden wasn't cracked out again like he was for the State of the Union. And we saw this clip earlier of Joe, and I'm not sure that we can make that assessment because he's talking about you can't be pro-cop and pro-insurrection or whatever on his wild crackhead drug from his son. But here's Donald saying, yeah, we should do a drug test. Test them up.
Okay, so what did you see when you were at the State of the Union? You heard what your colleague Greg Murphy said. He's the head of the Doctors Caucus. He says, quote, Joe Biden was jacked up. Now you got President Trump saying he wants drug testing.
Let's go.
Should there be drug testing before these debates?
Yeah, we should test all of Congress, okay? How many of them are on antipsychotic drugs? I'd like to know. And how many of them are on, like, massive doses of antidepressants? Or whatever else they're on. You know, if we test, you go to your employer, they'll test you. Some of them. Got federal law that allows that. So why don't we see which one of them are all cracked out on cocaine?
Marie, I'll tell you, I absolutely agree with that. There should. You can tell that Joe Biden comes in, he's jacked up, and then as the hour goes by, he slowly winds down. So the American people need to understand if they're giving him some injections so that he can actually look like he's coherent and he's with us. Because the other parts of the time he's not. This is why we want to get the Hur tapes. Because obviously during that session with Robert Hur, things did not go well. The American people need to understand what is the true mental capacity of Joe Biden.
Well, I just want
and Kamala Harris and all the rest of them. And it's not only drugs. Yes, I think a breathalyzer is probably a good idea too. Pelosi's drunk most of the time. I think Kamala is too. Doesn't necessarily even have to be, but we don't want drug addict people making policy. Don't we? Do we? I don't think so.
Listen, look, these are obviously very serious charges that he's jacked up. We don't know. We're not doctors. We have no idea. Now, the GOP Doctors Caucus chairman did say, I have experienced this and I know this for sure.
There's a long history of jacking up presidents. You read the history of what they did to JFK. That dude was in so much pain all the time. He was jacked up on everything. And I remember watching a documentary about JFK, and they were really concerned, I think, about his back pain when he was communicating with the Russians. And so they had him on so many painkillers. I think he actually got addicted to painkillers as a result of him having to imbue his body with all sorts of chemicals in order to do his job. So there's a lot of precedent for this. It doesn't escape me that they have a whole team of doctors creating little cocktails for Joe.
But, I mean, how are you going to know? So you're saying, yes, we should have drug testing.
Maria, I think that we need to, I think that, we're talking about someone who has the ability to launch nukes. And frankly, Representative Van Drew actually made a great point in that the reason why we're fighting so hard to hear these actual audio recordings of the president during his interview is because we need to ensure that this individual is essentially capable of not just leading this country, but he can make those tough decisions. Okay. And frankly, I'm not trying to be funny here. We don't necessarily trust that he can do that right now.
Real quick before.
Okay, so interesting. Drug tests for our elected leaders. Yeah, JFK, Deb saying, I always wondered if JFK was heavily medicated after that injury. Yeah, I watched a documentary that he was jacked up. And other people, Neuro says Secret Service is jacked up all the time. Not saying that's a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. You give those guys some, Adderall, some stimulants, probably gonna do a much better job. But they're not passing policy decisions, and they're not deciding whether to invade another country. You ever taken Adderall? You ever taken one of those stimulants? Stuff was flying around law school when I was going through law school. People were taking that stuff for finals and stuff, and it changes your whole disposition. It changes your whole. You just turn into a kind of a hyper-focused machine, and your emotions kind of get hardened up, and you get a lot angrier, a lot less empathetic, and it's a wild scene. So if the people who have their fingers on the authority to invade other countries, we do not want them to be cracked out on methamphetamines if we can help it. Now, Secret Service, all right. I'm not, I would say, a pharmaceutical or like a Luddite on those things. I think that there are performance-enhancing drugs that probably do work. I think there are trade-offs on that. You don't get dopamine for free. There are consequences to those things. But certainly, professional athletes and stuff, the people who are on steroids, and people who are doping their blood, there are ways to enhance performance all day. I think you've got to consider it in the appropriate context. And senators who are spending billions of dollars and taking us into foreign wars are not the appropriate people to be cracked out on drugs. All right, what's up, my friends? Let's see what you guys say about all this. Some great donos came in. Thank you for sending those in. Blocky's in the house. What's up, Carrie B? Carrie B clipping for us on the morning. Blocky's here. Oh, Dr. Jill is changing Joe's diaper. Oh, they're finishing breakfast up there at the White House. Joe Biden's getting his plate of goodies over there at the White House. Thanks, Jill. Will you change Jerry Nadler next, please? Blocky's sharing this one. Nobody. Joe Biden speaking to African Americans. Joe says to the African American kids, says, I was born a black child. I was born a black child. Very nice. Joe, thanks for sharing that message. Here's one from Blocky. Says, every 4 years, leading Democrats emerge from their posh layers to remind black voters how much they care about them. Isn't that nice? Blocky says, it's not that inner city kids, mostly minorities, are less intelligent than students in other areas, which I think was what Joe said. It's the fact that they're indoctrinated by Democrat Union Democrats to do nothing but vote Democrat. Democrats have to keep their people stupid, especially the young ones, to stay in power. But you're starting to see a change in real time, and the Dems don't know what to do besides bash homeschooling and keep screaming racist. I think that's a good point, Blocky. They feel like they're flailing around a little bit. That's why Joe Biden is out there screaming about black people suffering in America, even though Joe Biden's been building that America for 40 years. He was the vice president too, for 8. Crash, too many characters, Rob. See the comment and enjoy. I think we got that one earlier, Crash. Thank you for that one. That was the Trump video, hidden president. What's up, Blocky says, with the death of the Iranian president, Khomeini's son is now going to be the president, and it's a shame. The people of Iran, and Iran itself is a beautiful country. If you look at the pics before the revolution in the 70s, and now it's the same. Women were some of the most educated on earth, wore skirts, Western hairstyles, and Iran could have been a powerhouse economically. But religious zealots ruined it, like they ruined Lebanon, which was also a gorgeous country with wonderful people. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Blocky. I don't know, I think they might turn around and point back to American culture and say, we've got a bunch of porn-addicted degenerates running around our country, and we have a sick culture that we probably should fix. So, I certainly don't condone religious totalitarianism. I don't condone any totalitarianism, including lefty, woke totalitarianism, where we have to battle each other's genders and define genders, and try to repair relationships on a humanity level, because we don't even have human connection anymore. So both sides, I think, are problematic, but I understand your point that liberties can be seized from both ends of the spectrum. Blocky, what's up? Build Back Better is in the house. We got a couple of these comments. And this lady says, I voted today. I think she voted 100 times. Democrats leaving the polls on election day. I voted today, this hour, and that hour, and this hour, and that hour. We've got Build Back Better. We've got the two crash dummies driving America directly to the wall. That's from Blocky. This one from Blocky says, hey, someone should ask Biden about his democracy and wonder why the kid on the right didn't get justice, even though the guy admitted to killing him for his political beliefs. Democrats weren't demanding the FBI investigate it for civil violations. Yeah, I remember these two. Kaylor Ellingson, didn't he get run over, I think, in Austin? Yeah, media didn't care about that. That guy got, I think, went free, right? Glocky, 13 dead American soldiers, hundreds dead from the Maui fires. George Floyd, Joe Biden takes a knee. Glocky's telling us that Netflix is dropping the new George Floyd documentary. And you know who that's starring, George Floyd? Starring Ryan Gosling. That's what Netflix does. We got this one from Lady Ice says, I wonder if they just feed him a bunch of lies and BS to get him riled up and angry, then pump him full of amphetamines and raids and send him out there believing this bad stuff is really happening. Yeah, it's probably an amphetamine. It's probably an amphetamine of some type. NY says, by Biden mentioning, I hear you are free on Wednesdays isn't even a funny joke. I hope Trump's lawyers use it in his legal briefings describing Biden's DOJ's prosecutorial misconduct. I agree. It was a really, really disgusting statement, right? It's like, you are the abuser and you're mocking your victim. Crazy. And he thought it was a funny thing. They keep pretending like the DOJ is some separate institution that has its own legitimacy and credibility. But we all know better, and I think a lot of people are starting to wake up. Blocky shared this one. If you want to get a liberal to laugh, try to get a liberal to explain why Biden isn't racist. MAGA Hat, what's up, says, I was born a poor black child. That's another statement from Joe. And Dave Rubin, says Crash, mentioned that Joe has blue eyes and that today his eyes are black. He openly wondered whether his eye color changed due to the cocktails his handlers have and are infusing him with. Wow, I didn't notice the eye color change. That is interesting. More weird, right? Lady Ice, does that happen? Is that something that happens? You give somebody some medication for eye color changes? Lady Ice, what's up? Says exactly, it is proving he is very much aware of the legal actions being taken and is seemingly involved on some level, despite his saying that he has not been paying attention at all. That's a good point. And by politicizing it and antagonizing him publicly, while Trump can't respond, is against the ethics. The comment Lady Ice says, the feds can seize your property anytime they want without a court battle if it's seized during the course of any illegal or illicit investigation of the law. You have to sue them to get it back, and it takes forever to get a court date, and people have little recourse for the loss of use and end up being found innocent of the alleged crime. You're right about that, Lady Ice. We fought a lot of this stuff when I was practicing. Civil forfeiture proceedings, they come in, they say, well, all your cars and all your jewelry and all your property is ours now, as a result of the fact that we found some drugs. And we got those things with drug money. It's not exactly true, you can't prove that, but they take it and you have to fight back in the aftermath, after the fact. What's up? Turbo Encabulator says, that was a great setup by Trump. He says, pilots come in. You know, I used to fly a plane. Truckers come in. I used to drive a truck, says Jim. People come from Minnesota. I used to live in Minnesota. But he needed a punchline here like, I'm waiting for blank to visit him so he can finally speak the truth. Fill in the blank. Huh. Interesting one. I don't know where you're going with that, but I have some thoughts. I don't know. Jesus? Waiting for Jesus to visit him so he can finally speak the truth? I don't know. What's up? Defrauded says, I'm glad that Trump is calling out Biden for being full of it and possibly being a drug user like Hunter. The tree doesn't stand far from the fallen apple, so when they open up the investigation fully of the CCP, Biden coordinated securities fraud, China hustle, and they connect the dots, will be regarded as the largest theft, bribery, scam, and cover-up in history. Check out the article from John Solomon about the memo of understanding between Xi and Biden about securities frauds. Wow, a couple good links there. All these fake crimes were just a decoy and a waste of resources for the real crime. But Comer subpoenaed more Biden bank records on the 20 shell companies. The one-stop shop for all this info, my friends, the ChinaHustle.us. Good to see you, China Hustle. Sergeant GPS says, have you been tracking this case? Arizona voter registration citizenship requirement and birthplace question was struck down. I recently only heard about it. No, I've not been following this one. I'm sorry. So here, court finds that Arizona voter registration provisions violate federal law. 2024, back in March. Court ruled that the birthplace requirement violated federal law. And I think that's right. I think that's a Scalia decision, actually. Yeah, interesting. There's a lot of misinfo on that topic. And I honestly don't know what the actual answer is. But
hey,
I
Chopper.
would imagine
Good to see you,
that
buddy.
they can vote. I don't think, when they come out and they say, oh, it's already illegal, there's no way that those votes will be counted. I don't believe that for a second, not for a second. Nathan in 810 Ken says, I was wondering if you know about LDOPA. It's a medicine. No. Oliver Sacks' book titled Awakenings has some case studies where they would give it to people in the mental homes who've not spoke for years or are unable to relate in other ways to the normal world. People dosed with it would suddenly wake up, become lucid. It was a great change. But these people would soon die along with usage. Wow. L-Dopa, no. Is it like a psychedelic or something?
Impact Employment, I'm speaking. How can I help
Yeah,
you?
I'm not saying that drugs can't heal or that drugs are always bad. I think that drugs have very much utility. I think there's a lot of medicine that's very useful in this world. A lot of, very needed.
Okay, well, let's take a look.
But the question is, how can you abuse it and show our politicians being cracked out when they're passing bills? Wow, what's up? Watchers,
What is your last four?
The Watchers. WOWW in the house, Senior Chief says, hey, sorry getting on late and catching up. We're glad you made it. For the video
And your
clip of
name?
the dueling Bidens, there's AI software called Casablanca AI that will make it appear
sorry?
that you're looking at directly as the camera. Even when you are actually looking down and reading from your notes, I've seen that. I've seen that in editing software.
I don't see the application.
Mad Media pointed this out.
Jasmine Lucas?
It's pretty spot on when we saw Biden. The fact that the software is called White House is amazing. Wow, okay, so you're saying that's just an AI video. Yeah, I've seen
Well,
that.
did it used to be Pitts?
eScript is an editing software. You read, you just read like I'm reading right now, and it will move your eyes up. It's pretty crazy. So I wonder if that's what was happening. Good to see you, Wow. Senior Chief in the house. Thanks for that one. Lady Ice says, that one just went away.
Sorry?
Where'd that one go? From Lady Ice, I can't wait till Biden talking to a member of the mafia or some other known criminal organization. He starts telling us how he used to run an organized crime group. Yeah.
Let me try and just type it in with the
And the best
name.
prostitutes as well. We all had, yes. Joe Biden just says it, he drops out his whole
Hey, yeah, let me.
historical background. It's filled with degeneracy.
Let me see.
That sounds fun.
Oh, there you are.
What's
Okay.
up? It's good.
So the next step is for me to send you.
Not Brandon says I can do it on my phone.
Oh, wait, you already did the onboarding tasks. Okay, good. So which position were you looking for? Electroprime?
It's difficult to test President Biden for drugs.
Okay. Can you come in tomorrow at 1 p.m.?
Not so well-known compounds that could affect cognition.
All right. I'm going to send you the address, and I'm going to send you some instructions as well. Okay.
Blood toxicology assay done in
You're welcome.
autopsy takes 6 weeks. Even Trump stipulated the specific compounds. Biden's team could easily find a daughter chemical with similar effects that would elude the test. Yeah, I believe that too. And they would never allow it, honestly. They take the president's poop when he leaves. So if the president goes to a foreign country, they take his poop and they dispose of it. Because they don't want anyone knowing what's in the president's body. So they're not going to test him. He'll never be tested. Or at least we'll never know the results of it. JFK was on corticosteroids for his back pain. He developed Addison's syndrome. When you have a high dose steroids for a long time, your adrenals atrophy. The doctors didn't realize he suffered for a while until someone figured it out. Is that right? So it was for back pain, right? I didn't remember the details on that. He was in a lot of pains and just jacked him up. He had all sorts of problems afterwards. But he had like a good meeting with the Russians, I guess. Terry says, when you want to be VP, you come out with, yeah, they cheated. Yeah, you kind of have to say that. That's for sure. Yeah, what about when Biden poops in his pants? I don't know. I guess somebody has to collect it so that the communists don't get it. MAGA Hat Stays, what's up, says Biden's Tic Tacs. Oh, I think we saw this clip. This is a good clip. Biden Tic Tacs.
Companies shrinking the size of their sticker bars, okay? Can you believe that? But you know, it's a funny thing. I don't know if you can see it out there. Does anybody have good eyes out there? Because this is, okay, so I just got this today. Somebody handed it to me, so weird, not as a joke. I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Can you see that, Pete? This is called Biden Tic Tacs. Can you see it, Tom? This costs more money than the one that was like 10 times bigger. This is inflation. That's a perfect. The guy actually handed me. Do you have any Tic Tacs? Yeah, here, take mine, sir. I said, what the hell is that?
Funny. Okay, so that's Trump. Good to see you, MAGA Hat. We got this one. This old guy says, amazing how different life was. Look at that. Totally different. Yeah. Yeah, one doesn't look as good as the other. That's for sure. What's up, fake MAGA Hat says, fake Tapper, the new Trump nickname. said Cohen's book receipts were quite extraordinary. He reflected on his own book, which only brought in low six figures. Yeah, I think Cohen is just, he's being somebody who is getting paid off, essentially, ultimately. What's up, MAGA Hat? Not
Yeah,
gonna
same
show that one.
chopper.
We got this one from Lady Ice. Says, you have to wonder why they would be flying helicopters in such bad weather conditions. He was doing ceremony for the dam project. He should have never known it would end in a dam tragedy. Also, the way they were reporting this early in the hours, it said that hard landing could not confirm whether the flight was 2 helicopters safely or not. Missing one who received some troubling texts from Lady Ice. Good to see you, Lady Ice. And talking about the feds seizing your property. And hey, Rocky's here. What's up, Rocky? And MAGA Hat shared the floating balloon wieners that were floating all over New York. But I'll let you watch those on your own time. What's up, not Brandon? Lady Ice. Hey, Rocky's here. Happy Monday, Rob. For the record, I think time has proven Iran reasonable for rejecting U.S. influence on their culture. Yeah, that's another thing, too. So what do they want? Like OnlyFans over there? I think we're better off without it. Angel, what's up? I think there's truth to that, Rocky. I don't think it has to go that far, but our culture is pretty rotten and broken. Angel says, I am glad someone else noted that Biden's eye colors changed. I do not think his eye color changes. I think it's a different person standing in for him, and they forget to put the contacts in. So it'll be the same color or something like that. I've noticed it for a couple of years. I've heard that. I've heard people talk about masks and other things. And the CIA makes great masks. There's also stories about that. I think somebody walked into Richard Nixon's office with a mask on, and he didn't even know who it was. He thought it was a real person. There's like a story about that. What's up? Milo phone bill says massive amounts of sugar causes type 3 diabetes and dementia. Yeah, sugar is a big problem. Try to cut that out for sure. Joe Biden eats a lot of it. Loves his ice cream. Okay, my beautiful friends. So let us wrap it there. It is a beautiful day. We got some YouTube friends. What's up, Kelly D? Lauren is here. Iran hates all from the West. It's not that they are not reasonable. RP Game says it's not eye color change, it's dilation from the drugs making the eyes look black. So it's much bigger. Can you say more about Davos in the desert? I'm not sure. I mean, here's the lineup. The lineup is quite good. I might close that out. But yeah, here's the lineup. I read about here, swamp monsters will do anything to keep Trump away from the White House. They steal elections. They resurrect the statute of limitations. Don't miss our Get Trump conference. The Davos in the Desert conference will take place virtually tomorrow. And so we're excited about being invited to join over there. Defrauded says they also have AI software that trains speakers. I think this is why they are trying to control the debates the second and then mute when the time limit is reached. They're currently training Biden. They will make Trump look bad with video editing. I hope Trump trains in his equipment and then undermines it by explaining how they're trying to manipulate a little bit. Voice, did I miss a super chat from you? Oh, my apologies. Looks like, I thought somebody split these. My apologies. Voice says, big announcement, Tuesday, June 4th, 8 p.m. Central.
You're hilarious,
Our
Chopper.
podcast will host a special J6 episode. We'll have 2 guests. Both are J6 defendants. One of them is a viewer, Boris Rob. Ooh, that sounds like a spicy one. That sounds great. Voice says, just for your members, our guests are the Lectern Guy, woo, and Glenn Croy. Wow, that's awesome. So check that out, my friends. June 4th, 8 p.m. Sounds like it's going to be great. Hey, Brian C., what's up? Robert, a huge thanks for bringing truth and exposure of the Biden lawfare agenda. Brian C., what a nice donut. Thanks for the nice compliment, man. Glad that you're here and supporting us on the day. Thanks for being a member. DC Metro says, Cohen just admitted he stole 30 grand from the Trump organization on the cross. Wild. It is just going to be a wild day. Thank you, DC, for that one. I can't wait to get back into that, so we'll go through the full thing, courtesy of Inner City Press. Rob White says they want him gagged, but want him to testify? Well, yeah, if he testifies, then they can cross-examine him. If he can just talk to the press, then they can't cross-examine him. And they want him to speak in a controlled environment so that they can cause maximum damage to him. But they want him to testify so they can hit him. You know, he's not going to testify. Hey, what's up? Barnes gave you a great shout out on the show on Sunday. Shout out to Robert Barnes. We love Barnes. Robert Barnes. I was watching some of that show. I didn't hear that, but I was watching some of that. Good to see you. Just on. Soulless Ginger in the house. Member for 14 months. Grateful for you. Rob White says he looks more like an AI robot with no eye blinking. In that, it might be, right? Some people are saying maybe that's a little. Could you imagine if our government is serving us an AI president? Maybe they are. Rob White, what's up? DC has a non-citizen voter registration card. The DOJ is fighting to keep this crap legal in multiple states. Are Putin and Xi coming to vote for U.S. president? I don't know. Maybe. That's insane that DC's working on that. They're absolutely working on it. All of them are. And they just keep gaslighting us again to say that no, we're not counting illegal votes. You can trust us. Well, we don't. Thanks, though. So, okay. My friends, let us wrap it up there. Sorry I almost missed those comments. Don't forget to go sub over to Voice of the People. And it sounds like it's going to be a great stream. But we will leave it there. It's a beautiful Monday, and so we are going to come back. Angel says there are times I've seen Biden or his double speaking and thought that they did not put his mask on straight. Sometimes his forehead looks different. I know, it's wild. Who is our president? Does anybody even know? Yeah, Barton said you have the best narration of the Trump trial, both in-depth coverage and personality-wise. Oh, that's really Miss Robert. I don't know about that personality part. I know. It's a work in progress, I'll tell you that for sure. But we're working on it. Thanks, Robert. Okay, so
Okay, Chad.
we'll leave it there, my friends. We're going to wrap up here for now. I got some. I'm going to start assembling my slides for tomorrow. We already have most of it done, but I'm going to finish assembling that. Get that prepped up. We're going to get a nice show prepped up. ELZ says Trump should bring an accurate clock and put it on the podium during the debate, so everyone can see how live the debate really is. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Put that up there so you can just kind of follow along. Okay, so we're coming back at the usual time, the usual day, the usual location, the usual channel, and it's color, baby. Final day on the station. I can't wait to get into it. I hope you are having a beautiful start to your Monday, an incredible start to your week. You're out there accomplishing all the things you've set your mind to, because you can do it. We'll come back in a few hours to get into it again, my friends. Thank you so much for joining, for being amazing members. We'll see you back here in a few hours. See you then. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.
To some degree with the compliance of CIA cutouts. I don't want to say CIA, but I do want to say CIA cutouts. Clever invective, Russell S. Thompson. I felt like that. And then Magilla, your wife's looking for her sunglasses. Do you like hurting people? Do you? Do you get a kick out of it? Do you get a kick out of hurting people? If you're not an awakened wonder yet, consider becoming one. We meditate every single week and we have a book club. Sorry I forgot the book club last week. It's because I went to Nashville. What a city, what a world. We've got so much to assess and get through. We had with so many subjects that we could cover, but we ultimately had to ask you to contribute in an ongoing discourse and dialogue with you, our community. We're continually selecting our content. We wanted to know about Iran. Here's a tip. If you've recently been involved in the bombing of Israel, don't travel by helicopter. Maybe get a train. Maybe consider a bicycle. It's wise to be cautious. There was retaliation was offered. What are you saying, Catman 823675? We're going to be talking about the death of the Iranian, not leader. I'm trying to work out the hierarchies of Iranian politics and certainly of helicopter engineering. Hold on a minute, that's just what it is. Should I be joking? I'm not joking about it. I recognise it's pretty sad. Anyone died. We'll also talk a little bit about Iran. Like, if you're American, you'll be aware how consistently the CIA have been involved in, well, I'm going to have to say, meddling with Iranian democracy, sovereignty. The democracy was part of meddling, actually. like, remember they had an elected leader. And then the British, with some of their relationships over resources, quite a lot of extraordinary stuff going on over there. We can't talk about all of that on Google. Why? Because this is really quite funny. When we're talking about Iran, I actually going to call up the Wikipedia page on CIA involvement in Iran. You can join in with me. Because you know, like if you watch our content on YouTube, if we mention something like a pandemic period, it will have like a Wikipedia link. And it will say, there's a lot of misinformation going on around coronavirus. Well, guess what? There's also a lot of information going on around coronavirus, and we're going to be talking about that as well, because the CDC have admitted to that side effects. Eco Health Alliance were funding research in Wuhan. The NIH were funding via Eco Health Alliance research in Wuhan. So many of the things that were once blithely regarded as conspiracy theories have come to be known as what you have to
Chopper, that
as cast iron facts. A little bit of good news. Julian Assange
that cover you sent me was pretty good.
Against extradition to the US. That means he's allowed to, like, we're going to extradite you and potentially kill you in jail. You know already that the CIA were plotting to murder you. Could I appeal against that? You can appeal against that. That's what Parks is. That's the victory these days, to be allowed to appeal against the mighty, on-rolling locomotive of crushing injustice, forever creating the architecture that legitimizes tyranny around itself. We're going to need more surveillance laws. We're going to need more censorship laws. We're going to need the ability to shut down protests.
Yep, yeah, I just finished them. I'm going to do his E-Verify now.
Aggregation of global power continues apace. We'll talk about that. Germany is what Greenwald had to say about the Assange case. He's had a legal win, but the fact that he's still one in a high school prison more than 10 years.
Scratchy boys
No
did.
conviction after bail jumping.
Is it?
Sickening. One person who
Thanks for renewing the membership, boss. I appreciate that.
report on political events is the President of the United States, Joe Biden. He's still angry
Hey,
about what
click on your
he's angry about
highlighted
erections storming the Capitol. And if
comment. I want to see if I can do an event or an event for it.
Actually, because I think if you have a building in people's minds,
This is just
for some
insane.
reason, is a symbol of democracy. I don't know how it's maintained that symbolic power. You shouldn't ever have erectionists raiding it. But it's possible that Joe Biden's made an error. I mean, it's happened before. He calls and the erectionists who storm Capitol Hill patriots. That's right, because it's not patriotic, I don't think, to storm anywhere, particularly not in that stage. You could sit down on a sofa or a settee or a couch behaving yourself, I would say. Cardi B ain't going to endorse him. I don't know if this matter is...
Are you meant to cancel that?
Just see.
Gotcha. For $1.99.
Layers of disappointment. There's sort of a deep strata of disappointment is being experienced. And now we're going to talk for a while we're still on YouTube. But, you know, before we go...
How do I make that bigger?
What?
I made the video small.
Oh, that'll be good.
Let's have let's talk briefly about the death of Ibrahim Raisi, who's the...
Hey, I get paid. I know, because this is it.
The timing couldn't have been worse if last week they said, I'm a bit worried about Boeing, they don't seem like their aeroplanes are reliable.
There are fresh fears tonight of instability in the Middle East, with Iran's president confirmed dead following a helicopter crash. Also on board was the foreign minister, with the aircraft believed to have come down after travelling through a mountainous region in heavy fog and poor weather conditions.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and his foreign minister pictured on board a helicopter during a visit to a...
Looked a bit old. Does look a little aged. Well, the only reason I suppose that there is any suspicion at all is I suppose whenever anyone dies, you think, is that convenient for anyone? Now, some people think that internally within Iranian politics, there are forces that might benefit from the death of the president, but also people are noting that there have been clear claims from Israel that there would be retaliation for Iranian attacks. And like when that Slovakian prime minister got shot up not long after
he endorsed Putin or refused to arm Ukraine. During the pandemic period, he said, I'm getting fed up with buying all these vaccines, I don't think they work properly, which, turns out there was some legitimacy to his inquiries, and we require more information by the day. Whenever anyone's downfall or any recipient of attacks is an enemy of powerful forces, you have to consider, well, these powerful people have had another lucky break, the Iranian president's died. Oh, these powerful people have had another lucky break, Elon Musk's getting tied up in all sorts of... Oh, these powerful establishment forces have had another lucky break. It seems that several misdemeanors of Trump's are being tied together into a felony package. In none of these instances, although I myself have been subject to attacks from extremely powerful forces, and this astonishing more of that later. You have to question, just in the interests of your own perspicacity, your own objectivity, your own willingness to be open-minded.
Sometimes it's an issue with them at the plant, so...
Impact powerful interests. Well, you are compliant. If you find yourself compliant, if you find yourself mired in cultural argument, if you feel yourself being led like a lamb to the ongoing slaughter of the cultural war, almost no matter what side of it you're on, now, if you're sort of quagmired in those issues, then I would say you're kind of neutralised. That's why I think it's really important that we remain alert and potent and willing to form unusual alliances. That's why I think it's important, let me know what you think about this in the chat, that we prioritise our spirituality, our faith, our values, our principles above the kind of conditions that allow us to be manipulated. And I think this is someone that's been, I find it very difficult not to get caught up in materialism, you know what I mean by that? Not to get ensnared in sort of prestige or privilege or power. Those things can be very, very alluring, and certainly if you find that your abilities, your opinions, your power is at odds with the dominant, centralising, authoritarian forces that appear to be on the rise, that's what certainly I believe, then you shouldn't probably go anywhere by helicopter.
Dam on the border with Azerbaijan. This is some of the last vision of the pair during their flight home. Their chopper got into trouble.
The news broadcaster says during targeting the nation helicopter got into trouble. Sounds seriously. They're like honey badger. The honey badger don't care. President Iran don't care.
According to Iranian state television, the helicopter suffered a hard landing in mountainous ranges. Rescue teams raced to the scene, a fog-shrouded forest with tough terrain. Before a Turkish crew finally found the wreckage hours later. State TV, the country's vice president, confirming both leaders were dead.
There is no evidence of foul play. It looks like an accident.
What Chuck Schumer has inadvertently done in using the phrase, it looks like an accident, is literally articulating one of the phrases that's used when people are deliberately murdered. We'll make it look like an accident. It looks like an accident, so Mossad have done a pretty good job there. I'm not claiming that this is a result of Israeli or CIA, or because frankly, I believe in a deep and powerful truth that I continually crave is realised here at the point out there. Chuck Schumer, though, feels like it looks like an accident.
It was very bad, foggy weather in northwest Iran where the copter crashed.
Iran's supreme leader is urging calm, assuring the country there will be no disruption to state affairs. People should not worry. The president will return to the people and things will be done.
Will he know? Will he return to the people? Or is that at this point quite unlikely as he is?
In the best way, hopeful words from Ayatollah Khamenei, now overwritten by a grim reality. Ibrahim Raisi was widely viewed as a potential successor to Iran's supreme leader. As president, he oversaw a hardline crackdown on dissent in the country and supported Iranian drone attacks on Israel.
We all expected a ferocious struggle for power to begin after Khamenei dies. It might have already begun with this incident.
There's so much mistrust in the evidence or perspectives of the powerful that the entire stream is full of people going, weather experiments, they're manufacturing that for. It's astonishing, isn't it? Because I suppose after these odd weather events in Dubai, even in that region, it appears likely that the skies can be subject to some meddling.
On the streets of the capital, Tehran, there are mass prayers for the president in what is a sensitive moment.
What political figure in your country would be grieved so sincerely? I'm, as you know, supposed British, and I can't believe anyone. I can't believe anyone in British political life that if they died, and I don't send them wishes on it, I'm not praying they don't die and happy, successful lives, and praying that they awake the troops that are available to all of us. If any of them were to die, I don't think
Impact employment norms, if they're not going to help you.
just grieving in the streets. I'm running through my mind of all political figures, and all people are sort of like, this is the action.
Yeah, Monica gets them. What's your name? Yeah. And you worked? For the walleye. Okay. Well, that broadcast went out very early. Okay. Nope. It's, Well, yeah, that late at night, you probably generally won't.
Elected government of Prime Minister Mohammed Mossadegh to install the Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi to rule Iran autocratically. It's extraordinary how often there has been CIA intervention. Have a look at this on April the 4th, 1953.
So Friday you did what, the mud hens as well Friday?
Budget of $1 million to use on an operation to construct a scroll up for you guys. When instructed to use that money
Did you go in Friday? Was it the mud hens or was it the walleye?
Study entitled Factors Involved in the Overthrow of Mossadegh.
Yeah, it was 9 o'clock on.
The study indicated that an alliance between the Shah and General Zahedi, supported by local CIA assets with financial backing, would have a good chance of overthrowing it. There's a large mob possible.
Yeah, they sent them to payroll, but they haven't gone through yet, so I can't see them. Right here.
Ongoing
Let me see.
intervention
Dang it,
in
there's
that
something here.
region
Hang on.
for so long that whatever you hear initially is certainly worth scrutinising for a moment before blindly believing.
Yeah, they have you down for the mud hens on Friday from 9 to 12:10. Yep, they got it in. They haven't put payroll hasn't run it yet, but they did send the hours over. All right, sir. Bye.
I feel like is we have to learn to have a perspective that's not only spatial, almost temporally broader.
Turn on Monday.
Rhythms of power.
No, why am I not getting that super chat as an alert?
What was happening in that region in 1950?
Did that give an alert?
What happened in the 1950s? How have imperial colonial powers interacted with that region?
The whole point of doing this is so that shit. Okay, wait, what's this?
Get a sort of a better perspective. That's why I find someone like Mike Benz incredibly powerful when it comes to subjects such as this. Anyway, listen, we've been on YouTube for a while. We've got a hell of a lot more to talk to you about, but I feel like we should make our move over there. Let me tell you what else we've got coming up. Listen, we
listening.
about obviously the CDC and the NIH's acknowledgement that they were funding
appreciate that.
research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. We're also going to be talking about the
I heard that you can do
CDC,
like a thread underneath these now.
as adverse events and vaccine injury. We can't talk about that where you are now. Click the link in the description. Join us in the sweet stream of freedom where we can speak openly. I'll see you there. Consider becoming an awakened wonder if you are elsewhere. Now, before we let me see if there's any more of this stuff that you might want to cover. Yeah, let's have a little look at. And let me know also with regard to Iran. Let me know what you think about that. You've heard what I think about Iran. You've heard what I think about the West's intervention into that region and its usual motives for intervention. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat about that. We've talked to you about Julian Assange. Should we have a quick look before we get into the CDC at King Charles's potentially satanic portrait? We will. But first, let's have a message from some of our loyal supporters. See you in a second.
Do you have trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Perhaps because you're a busy parent or you work incredibly hard. I have to sleep well every night. I can't muck about because I have to look after my family, I have to do my job well. Now, Dream is a luxurious drink blend filled with the highest quality sleep-promoting ingredients to help you to fall asleep and stay asleep. This is my favourite one, peanut butter. But there are other flavours as well. Here they are. Now, you can incorporate this easily into your night two routine like I have done. It helps me wake up.
And then I cropped it again. So I have two of the same picture. Now I am taking it in on the right hand side in order to make one of them.
Extraordinary and astonishing way. One thing that we can say with some certainty is this. During the pandemic, everything was a conspiracy except for compliance, wasn't it? Everything other than get into your house, sit down and stare at your TV screen and wait for further instructions on what medication you should inject, what narrative of the origin of this condition you should believe, and how you should become obedient, how you should potentially open yourself up to social credit scores, how you should be ashamed if you've got any inquiries or questions. Well, with every passing day, it seems less and less likely that the dominant narrative that was broadcast, and I mean broadcast in the most literal sense, we were immersed in a ubiquitous narrative that increasingly seems to be an absolute
the first one looks like a
deception.
sticker.
The former director of the CDC has publicly admitted that COVID shots caused significant side
Impact
effects.
employment
There is
notes
some
for connect and help you.
evidence that suggests that there is a connection between mRNA injections and extreme forms of cancer. And we now know for sure that the EcoHealth Alliance, that is an NIH cutout, was financially invested in Wuhan, the Wuhan Institute of Virology specifically, and was conducting coronavirus research there. So what's left now that's a conspiracy theory?
Last name again?
I mean, we have to start asking, you know, if you move that picture of King Charles around, is it a satanic sigil? Because, hey, we've got to ask questions these days. We're asking questions on this show all the time. And here are a few answers.
You said COS?
28, guys, and I do not see it. Thank you very much for, March 27. Can you change it for me? Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, one more time. There's so much background noise here.
That tried to suggest there may be significant side effects from vaccines. We kind of like with the rest of your show that you had early on, we kind of got canceled because no one wanted to talk about the potential that there was a problem from the vaccines.
Okay, the whole last
because they were afraid that that would cause people not to want to get vaccinated. The reality is, I was part of Warp Speed. These are important vaccines. We saved a lot of lives.
They do keep reiterating, I was part of Warp Speed, we saved a lot of lives, important vaccines. But are you now at the point where you're thinking, hold on a minute, hold on. Where are the data that tell us that this was beneficial? People are asking questions about what happens to people when they're put on ventilators when they're sick. People are asking questions about the adverse effects and the giddying, and I use the word giddying literally, array of symptoms and side effects and consequences of that medication. AstraZeneca has had to be withdrawn. Pfizer won't let you look at a significant amount of their clinical trial data. How long can you sort of maintain the slow drag of it was all worth it?
They're important for the most vulnerable people, those over 65, 60, 65 years.
Check the other ones.
Do you not still recall babies of 6 months should be given the jab? Pregnant women should be given the jab. Young young men should be able to, young healthy men and women should be able to go out to nightclubs or concerts, much being made of artists and said, we won't let you into our venue unless you've been vaccinated. That whole
It looks like some of them aren't done. The hiring pack, the Electroplan hiring pack, and the benefit form.
Or a tax recipient. If you're a tax recipient corporation, then it wasn't a waste of money, it was an incredibly good deal.
Of age, they really aren't that
Well,
critical
there's some
for
things
those
that need to be
that
initialed
are
on
under
there.
50 or younger.
I mean, if you want to, you can do it when you come in.
But they're also, we have to be
We're just
honest.
coming in a little bit early. We're having a group tomorrow. Did you want to come in tomorrow at 1 o'clock?
Why are we having to manage excess death figures? Why are we having to, even every time they
I'm sorry?
one of the errors, they sort of push back.
That's the only one we had. Well, we had one today at 1, but the next one's scheduled is tomorrow.
Okay, maybe we did fund that research. Okay, maybe Anthony
Or did you want to call it? I mean, we'll schedule. We schedule a day out each time. Just so if you want to do text or call tomorrow. Let me shoot you a text just so you know what to bring with you. And your phone number is in our text system. It's actually a different number.
To be a GI in the mid-40s, got any gum chum, got any of them
hello?
nylons, tight, they invented nylon yet? I'm not sure, I don't know the exact chronology, but what I do recognise is attempting to
No.
claim that the pandemic
The number we
was a
text
success,
from is
it was
different.
well handled, the medications are effective.
So I'm gonna text you one just reminding you to bring certain I-9 documents. That's the number you want to text. Text me tomorrow, and I'll tell you what time the next one is scheduled.
Some people
Did you get that text from me?
side effects from the vaccine. I have a number of people
Okay.
that are quite ill.
Yep.
And they never had COVID, but they are ill for the
It's
vaccine.
half
We
hour.
just have to acknowledge that.
Yep.
Let's acknowledge it, baby, and let's acknowledge this. A new study links
Oh,
Pfizer jabs
yeah, 1
to a
p.m.
rare form
You should be able to make it.
of aggressive cancer, which
All right, I'll put you on the list. If you're not going to be able to make it, just text me at that number. Let me know, okay?
If you say it fast enough, you'll go into a coma.
All right,
Shortly
I'll put
following
you on the
both
list.
injections, a 6-year-old patient experienced
Bye.
lymph node enlargement. The right lymph node biopsy was done, which revealed part of the condition. The carcinogenic product is still recommended by the CD government for individuals aged 6 months and older. We've just heard that, very vulnerable people. So, like, even in that sort of...
I don't know if it'll alert it or not. I've been in and out. I've got a pop-up here.
Sending out a lot of love, by the way, Chris.
I think it's only alerting for Twitch and for
they try to mitigate
Streamlab tips.
prevent the truth.
Because that's supposed to be working now too. TTS.
Fully understood. Absolutely astonishing. Here's the US government admitting to funding gain-of-function research. Here are the government admitting to funding research at the Wuhan Institute.
I don't know if media player is working, but the TTS is working.
Ongoing attempts to mitigate, knowing that there's such a fugue and an endless sort of smog of misinformation not coming from the
Yeah.
places that are being censored, extraordinarily enough.
Yeah, I guess they are doing them once in a while.
From
But
state-funded
I might do one tonight. We'll see.
funded media
It won't be that late though,
organisations,
because
from
of work.
organisations that will never, like Rumble, have to leave Brazil on point of principle, or leave France on point of principle, or be booted out of Russia. It's an equal opportunities global censorship endeavour that we are experiencing right now. Let's have a look at them attempting to continue to mitigate the truth around the funding of research in Wuhan. Let's have a look at that.
Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute.
Do they fund Dr. Barrett? Dr. Tabit, did NIH fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute?
Supposed to do super chats, yeah.
Echo Health.
It depends on your definition of gain-of-function research. If you're speaking about the generic term, yes, we did.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
See?
I seem to remember that the only women that went to disaster Andy Fauci during this entire debacle, this global hoax, was, is it okay to find that guy sexy? Well, maybe, if you're turned on by absolute fucking lies. Extraordinary time. Let's have a look what Elon Musk posted about that. Prosecute EcoHealth Alliance funding is suspended. Finally, like names that you've been saying. Do you remember the first time you heard names like Peter Daszak and DARPA and EcoHealth Alliance? Oh, I remember those days. It's like this is something that could be happening in a stoop in Alabama, sucking on an old wood pipe, sipping some Tennessee whiskey. Seems so long ago. Like it even for me, and I learned it from you. That we've known this for ages. Look at how they sort of slowly squeeze it through the toothpaste tube, like releasing a fart in an elevator. Oh, yeah, we may have done some gain of function research. Yep, I'm afraid that the vaccine does have some side effects. Lockdowns might not have worked. We just made up social distancing. We've been lying to you. Till in the end, you're absolutely smothered in the excretion of corruption coming from that open portal, that endless rectum of Anthony Fauci and the diabolical anal bilge of his deception. You'll beat through that when it's short. Let's have a look what's coming on next. You saucy buggers. Friend of the show, Mike Benz, serious reporter. He's reacted to this. This is a big victory. We have to celebrate wins like this. Part of our job outside government is to make heroes of people inside government who do the right thing. Eco, yeah, no, I think that's important. I think that's important to acknowledge allies, people that publicly admit that they've made mistakes. This is it. This is the way out. Are you beginning to sense that freedom might be possible? Just stay out of the helicopters. Keep your hopes up, baby, because this could be it. This could be it. The Fauci, look at this. So, EcoHealth has been an untouchable Fauci juggernaut for 2 decades now, says Mike. It has now finally been punched in the pocketbook. And I like to think that in this instance, pocketbook is a synonym for cock. And that is precisely what needed to happen. It needed to kick up the dick in the holy name. Did it not? Okay, let's have so there you go. It looks to me pretty clear that we were deceived extraordinarily, and at the moment we are being subjected to the kind of subtle dilution and obfuscation of emergent truth. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Certainly now, AstraZeneca are having to confront some pretty uncomfortable truths. Someone has created a timeline of AstraZeneca. Remember, Bill Gates funded. For a while it was known as the Oxford vaccine. This is a classy vaccine made in Oxford, England. It's one of the better vaccines I've ever known. AstraZeneca. Why, that name will be synonymous with class and good health. I think it might go down in history as being a blood clot provocateur. Let's have a look at what AstraZeneca have been pumping out into the world.
AstraZeneca vaccine was shown in clinical trials to be safe and effective. The vaccine has met requirements for standards for safety, quality and efficacy.
Germany, France, Spain and Italy are all taking the precautionary measure of suspending use of the vaccine because of fears about possible side effects, including blood clots.
A little bit of truth there. Just a thing. Okay. France, Belgium, Germany, countries that were either in a war against us or didn't try hard enough, frankly, in that war, aren't willing to take a little blood clot where it hurts. That's the BBC, by the way. If you're wondering how that's funded, what I'd like you to do is find a mirror, look in it, and you're seeing who's funding it. It's you, if you're British. You're paying for it. You're paying for your own prison.
The AstraZeneca vaccine has already been suspended in the Netherlands, Ireland, Iceland, Bulgaria, Denmark and Norway.
I have no concern about that.
They're not proper countries, though. Later this week we'll be talking about the assassination attempt on the Slovakian leader. And you'll hear that haughty, supercilious, imperialist condemnation. Slovakia isn't a proper country. They shouldn't even be allowed a flag. And you can hear that in the sort of Iceland, Denmark. These are proud Viking people.
AstraZeneca and specifically the blood clot issue that's been emerged in Europe.
WHO saying no causal relationship this morning, no deaths associated with the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Got some pieces of paper, no deaths there, I'm sticking to it.
Overnight, the European Medical Agency head said the same thing.
A senior official at the European Medicines Agency has said there is a link between the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine and blood clots.
In Europe, they now
Well, I had 2 starts at it. I tried using
believe that they have
Rumble's
tied the AstraZeneca vaccine to a handful full of cases there. 18
studio
known
and it didn't
deaths.
work.
The UK's leading health experts have issued
Welcome, Jody.
I'm back again. I want you to continue paying the taxes and funders. I really do. Please, just keep the money coming if you could. But you might want to give AstraZeneca a wide berth. Ixnay on the Bill Gates one.
Following evidence that in extremely rare cases, people
So rare. As rare as Bill Gates actually giving away that wealth he's been promising to give away all these years.
people who've had the vaccine have gone on to develop blood clots. The official regulator, the MHRA, said the guidance was not proof that the vaccine had caused the clots, but it said the link was getting firmer. So,
like the clots themselves, really, the link is forming up, a bit like those white ones that are clogging up people's arteries. It's like a hideous tissue that's coagulating in the lungs and was funded by Bill Gates. Also, Chris keeps recommending when everyone gets vaccinated. Hold on, this doesn't make sense.
from now on, people aged between 18 and 29 will be offered an alternative to the Oxford AstraZeneca jab.
Here's an alternative. You don't need it. Just carry on with your life. Don't trust your government. Don't trust your media. Don't get involved in any needless spats. Recognise that everything they tell you has to be scrutinised, that their primary goal is your ongoing subjugation. Trust them not one whit, ensure there is corroborating evidence for anything they tell you, and recognise that you've been duped on a global scale, that somehow a feudal system, a technological system of feudalism, appears to have been somehow unfolded upon us, laying upon us like some peculiar mask of death, when all we were told we were living in are systems of, well, representative republics or democracies, when all the while you are living in a tiny, tiny cell of individual freedom that is contingent on total compliance, i.e. that's not freedom at all.
Canada has paused the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine to anyone under 55.
And truckers, they're going to insist that truckers take it because, as you know, truckers are Nazis. They barely have time to truck. They're too busy sea-kiling their way through the day. When they've done their sea-kiles, maybe they'll truck a little, but they won't be throwing those arms up with the same kind of enthusiasm now. Not with dirty grey blood clots coursing through their veins.
Germany has suspended use for under 60s in Berlin and Munich, and Spain is currently only giving the AstraZeneca shot to those aged 60 to 79.
Prime Minister
will not have a lot of time anyway, so maybe a little blood clot will speed your departure.
announcing in a snap press conference last night that most Australians under the age of 50 should not be given the AstraZeneca jab due to the rare risk of blood clots.
AstraZeneca is phased out. From October, it'll be used by request only.
The Australian government banning Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and the reason is so there will be no further cases of AstraZeneca-related thrombocytopenia.
They probably do occur in about 4 per million.
There's a 6 in 1 million chance of this occurring.
Just a 6 in 1. AstraZeneca is now being used instead of lethal injections in Louisiana.
100,000 people that received the AstraZeneca vaccine being seeded.
Risk they're talking about, which is the clot, it's about 1 in 50,000.
A major COVID vaccine is being withdrawn from the global market after its makers admitted it can lead to a very serious side effect.
AstraZeneca admitted the claims in court documents lodged in February.
That the COVID-19 vaccine can cause blood clots. In the UK alone, the firm is facing more than 50 lawsuits over these claims.
AstraZeneca made billions of pounds. They are market capitalisation of 170 billion, the second largest publicly listed company. Their CEO made 18 million last year. To them it is penny, to our lives. People are relying on food banks. People are at risk of losing their houses because they did what they were told was the right thing.
163 people have received compensation for the vaccine damage scheme.
Very rare. It is so rare. You should almost be thanking them. Thank you for this very rare blood clot. Why don't you become a collector of blood clots? Did you see this blood clot? It's very, very rare. It's quite precious blood clots. This is my favourite one. This one here, though, it's making its way. Oh, it's on its way to the... I leave you in all. You can take all of my blood clots. 99, baby.
Claims against the vaccine damage scheme have soared to 11,000.
Not looking so good now, is it, baby? all because it seems that it, well, kills people. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? And if you, comments in the chat, please stay free in the meantime as well. Hey, if you wonder how the state media and various pundits continue to be so compliant, well, you'll be astonished to learn that a prominent TV doctor, an odd phenomenon I know you have in your country and we have in our country, received a lot of funding from AstraZeneca. What a coincidence. Quick message from one of our sponsors, then we'll be back with that. Now, despite everything the Fed has been trying, we're still feeling the effects of inflation, filling up your car, grocery shopping, home repairs, everything's more expensive. And most of you are paying these bills with a credit card, and credit card debt's at an all-time high. If you're a homeowner, there's a way out. You've got to call my friends at American Financing. We can put together a plan for you to pay off that high-interest credit card debt and create meaningful savings for you every month. They're saving you just like your average of $854 a month, and they are closing them deals fast, sometimes as quickly as in 10 days. Don't wait, get yourself into a better position. Call their salary-based mortgage consultants today. It costs nothing to get started. And if you do start today, you can delay 2 mortgage payments, giving you greater savings up front. American Financing can help get that monkey off your back. 866-574-2500. That's 866-574-2500. That's the phone number for you to call, or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Russell. AmericanFinancing.net/Russell. We have a commercial partnership with those guys.
Alright guys, I'm gonna restart this for the ride home. We're just doing some testing, everything but Rumble.
BBC TV doctor,
So,
you fund the main
thanks for hanging out.
through a tax, a mandatory tax. You can go to jail. That's how it works. Your freedom goes as far as they want your freedom.